Chapter 2029. Chapter 2042. The Depressed Lion, huh? What the fuck? What a coincidence. Yushu's eyes widened as she looked at the lion on the rock. Because, according to her observation, this lion seemed to be the lion she sold to Jangwen. However, why did this lion come here? What's wrong? Lin Yi didn't pay attention to the situation outside the window. Lin Yi didn't care about the Lion King at all. Lin Yi had seen this kind of animal many times in the African grasslands and forests, so it wasn't strange at all. That lion, why does it look like our families? Yushu pointed at the Lion King. Lin Yi raised his head in surprise and looked at the direction Yushu was pointing at. He saw a familiar silhouette. It was the lion that he used to sleep with Huli. Lin Yi didn't like this lion that bullied the weak and feared the strong, so he didn't give it much strength. Yushu sold it off, so Lin Yi didn't care about it at all. However, this lion trained with General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig, so it did look like a spiritual beast. It wasn't very strong, but it had the strength of a half-step golden-class physical practitioner. It was nothing in front of General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig, let alone in front of Lin Yi. But in a place like this lion relied on its strength and intelligence developed by General Weiwu and Skybolt Pig to become the overlord here. As expected, Lin Yi nodded. Drive over. I want to see that Lion King, Yushu said to the driver. Drive over? Isn't that a little dangerous? After Uncle Yin experienced the tiger going crazy, he became more cautious. He turned to look at Zhang Duopan. Young Master Zhang, shall we drive over? Zhang Duopan was still scared. He was in the car, but he was still afraid. He was a little hesitant. Zhang Duopan, did you get scared just now? Now you don't even dare to approach the tiger in the car? Bai Wei Tuo would not let go of any opportunity to attack Zhang Duopan, who asked this guy to laugh at him before. Who said I was scared? Previously, that tiger went crazy. I'm not afraid of tigers, I'm just afraid of mad tigers. Zhang Duopan waved his hand and said, Uncle Yin, let's drive. The girls in the car are not afraid. What are we afraid of? All right. Uncle Yin nodded, started the car, and approached the Lion King. The Lion King was not afraid of the approaching car at all, and the Tiger King's little brother even roared fiercely at the Hummer, not putting it in his eyes at all. Instead, it had an imposing manner, as if it was asking for something delicious. Although tourists were prohibited from feeding the tigers, drivers were allowed to feed the tigers and lions. Of course, tourists had to pay for this. Stop the car. Open the door. I'm going down, Yushu said suddenly. Uncle Yan's eyes widened at Yushu's words. What was Yushu doing? Getting off here? Wasn't she looking for death? Even if he was a tamer, a professional, he didn't dare get off here. When he fed the tigers and lions, he would throw the meat out through the gaps of the window. He didn't dare to be careless, and Yushu, a girl, wanted to get off? Shield bro, will you come with me? Yushu suddenly realized that something wasn't right. The lion had already been sold, and it was now the king of this place. No matter how much she messed around, she couldn't risk her life. She turned to Lin Yi. Okay, Lin Yi said faintly, without a trace of fear or obstruction. Even if Lin Yi didn't know these lions and tigers, these beasts wouldn't dare hurt Lin Yi and the people he was protecting. There was no other reason. Years of fighting in the jungle had given Lin Yi a killing aura. As long as the tigers and lions weren't idiots, they wouldn't do anything when they sensed Lin Yi's aura. This was just like General Weiwu, who chose to retreat the first time he saw Lin Yi. Go Huli, that lion, was also scared by Lin Yi. Lin Yi's reply wasn't loud, but everyone in the car heard it clearly, especially Zhang Duopan. He looked at Lin Yi as if he was looking at an idiot. Even if Lin Yi liked Yushu and wanted to get on her good side, there was no need for him to accompany her to death, was there? In the domestication field, even the tigers might go crazy, let alone in a free-range breeding area. If they got out of the car, wouldn't they be eaten by the tigers and lions in an instant? But thinking back to the humiliation he'd suffered, Zhang Duopan didn't mind humiliating Lin Yi as well. If the two of them got eaten by the tigers after getting out of the car, then they couldn't blame anyone else. The tiger park would only have to pay some money, and everyone in the car could testify that they wanted to get out of the car. It had nothing to do with anyone else. With that thought, Zhang Duopan's lips curved into a cold smile. He didn't know why Lin Yi and Yushu were in such a rush to die, but since they wanted to die, he'd grant them their wish. Uncle Yin, the big hero, wants to get out of the car to observe Lion King up close. Let's stop the car and open the door. Okay, Master Zhang. Uncle Yan's order was to listen to Zhang Duopan's orders, and since Zhang Duopan wanted to stop the car, then so be it. If the people really got eaten, then Zhang Duopan would be the one paying for the compensation. Uncle Yin stopped the car and opened the door. Yushu got out of the car first, and Lin Yi, naturally, followed behind her. Yushu had only just gotten out of the car when the lions and tigers started getting restless, wanting to rush up and get rid of this delicacy. The lion behind them, however, paused when it saw Yushu, and shivered when it saw Lin Yi behind Yushu. Holy shit, Long Di Dong. These two weren't going to capture him, were they? The Lion King, General Wei Wu, and Skybolt Pig had been together for a long time, and while its strength hadn't increased that much, its intelligence had increased quite a bit. It was only natural that it knew how to scheme. This was an obvious sign of evolving into a spiritual beast. The Lion King, on the other hand, was having a great time in the tiger park. He had good food and drinks every day, and he had a bunch of lions and tigers as his lackeys. His life was perfect, and if he were to be captured, wouldn't he become the lowest existence in the family again? He wouldn't even be as good as a dog or a pig. He was a big lion, after all. He was a super powerful existence, but in Lin Yi's house, he was living a life of oppression. Target equals Mr. Blank. Chapter 2030. Of course, let's not talk about the pig and dog that it treated as its underlings. Let's talk about the little girl in front of it. She was even more powerful. She was like a little devil. She made it perform acrobatics all day long, which really tired it out. So, the Lion King was very happy to be able to escape. Yushu didn't have much strength, and the lion knew that she was just using Yushu's power to intimidate others. But Yushu had Lin Yi behind her, and he could kill it with a finger. It was only a matter of minutes, and the lion was smart enough not to mess with Yushu. At this moment, it saw that its underlings were going to eat Yushu and Lin Yi, and it was so scared that its heart almost exploded. It quickly roared, calling all of its underlings back. The underlings of the lion and tiger didn't understand why their king was calling them back, but they didn't dare disobey. Everyone in the car jumped at the Lion King's roar, especially Zhang Duopan. He looked at Lin Yi and Yushu with a gloating look. What a bunch of idiots, daring to look at the Lion King up close. They must be tired of living. Xinyan, who was sitting behind the car, finally loosened up a little. She frowned and looked at the calm Mingyao beside her. Yao Yao, Lin Yi and Shu, it's fine. That lion used to belong to my family. Mingyao, naturally, knew who the Lion King was. The Lion King? Xinyan's mouth was wide open. Yeah, Mingyao nodded. It's that Lion King. But Xinyan, you seem to care about him a lot, don't you? We're good friends, Xinyan said, a little embarrassed. Haha. Mingyao smiled ambiguously and didn't say anything else. However, after interacting with each other along the way, the two of them had become more familiar with each other. They had changed from calling each other by their names to calling each other by their nicknames. You, come here, Yushu said, pointing at the Lion King. She pointed at the Lion King. Quack? Zhang Duopan looked at the scene outside the car and found it unbelievable. Were these two mentally ill? How could he do such a stupid thing? Fanganha, on the other hand, was praying that the lions and tigers would eat Lin Yi and Yushu. That way, no one would be able to stop him from pursuing Xinyan. However, under everyone's shocked gazes, the Lion King ran strangely to Yushu. He shook his head as if he was trying to please Yushu. You stupid lion. You're doing quite well, huh? He's a Lion King now? Yushu said as she pulled on the lion's ear. Unet. With Lin Yi by her side and Lin Yi not stopping her, Yushu was naturally very brave. Naturally, Yushu wouldn't do something so stupid if Lin Yi wasn't around. Woo-woo. The lion nodded its head cautiously. It was complaining incessantly in its heart. If it had known that the second young mistress would come today, it would have hidden itself. Now it was the butt of a gun. Look at your pitiful face. You think you're a Lion King? Yushu curled her lips. She looked down on the Lion King. The Lion King felt very wronged. It was true that it was a Lion King in front of others, but if it continued to be a king when you're here, wouldn't it be suicide? You're fine. You'll just pull on my ear. But the one beside you, she can send me to the Southern Skies Gate with one kick. However, Yushu had a purpose in coming here. She grew up with Mengyao. The two were almost telepathic. Mengyao went to talk to Xinyan, and Yushu understood that this Xinyan might become one of Shield Bro's girlfriends in the future. In actuality, Yushu didn't really care about how many girlfriends Linny had. She was worried about Mengyao's interests, and as for herself, Yushu didn't want to think about her own matters. And so, after understanding Mengyao's feelings, she decided to help Lin Yi and Xinyan. Xinyan, however, had a rather annoying pursuer, and this person was ruining the relationship between Lin Yi and Xinyan. Yushu wasn't too happy about it, and so she wanted to find a chance to teach Fan Ganha a lesson. And now was the perfect opportunity. Yushu wouldn't have gotten out of the car to play with the Lion King otherwise. Fan Ganha, what are you doing in the car? Why aren't you getting out? I heard that Xinyan likes brave people. You're such a coward. Look at Shield Bro. He's not even afraid of lions. Yushu made a disdainful gesture at Fan Ganha. Pfft. Linny almost burst out laughing at Yushu's word. Why was she doing this again? Brave people? Didn't they say that Mengyao liked brave people? Why was it Xinyan now? Fan Ganha was confused, and Yushu's disdain made him panic. Who said I'm not brave? How are you guys brave? There's something wrong with this lion. It doesn't even hurt people. Yeah, there's clearly something wrong with this lion, Zhang Duopan said. What kind of lion is this? Uncle Yin, are you sure you're not mistaken? Uncle Yin found it weird as well. This lion was clearly very docile, and it didn't bite at all. Why was it acting so happy when its ear was pulled? What a dumb lion. Isn't this a competition of bravery? I'm a sports student. You think I'm weaker than you? Fan Ganha made the decision if Lin Yi and Yushu were fine, then he'd be fine as well. Lin Yi and Yushu, on the other hand, probably knew that there was something wrong with the lion, and that was why they dared to get off the car. It was just like how Zhang Duopan and the tamers said that they weren't afraid of the tiger. They were the ones who cheated, and so they naturally assumed that Linny was cheating as well. With that, Fan Ganha jumped off the car, and the moment he did so, Yushu whispered something to the lion, and the lion nodded quickly. But no one paid attention to this scene. How could a human talk to a lion? From their point of view, it was something impossible. In the car, Wang Xinyan heard Yushu say that she liked brave people. Since when did she like brave people? Linny was brave, but Mengyao smiled faintly. Shu wants to help you get rid of your pursuer, Fan Ganha. Xinyan blinked and understood what was going on when she saw Fan Ganha getting off the car. Heh, you stupid lion. There's definitely something wrong with you. Speak. Are you tamed? Fan Ganha pointed at the lion as soon as he got off. Target equals underscore blank. Chapter 2031. The lion didn't dare make a sound when it was being bullied by Yushu and Lin Yi, but it was pissed off that it was being bullied by a random person out of nowhere. Still, it remembered Yushu's orders and decided to endure the humiliation with a whimper, not doing anything to Fan Ganha. This article is from the Literature Museum. Ha! I knew you were a coward. Fan Ganha saw that the lion was being so cowardly, and he was excited. He was just testing the lion, and he didn't dare get too close to it. He realized that the lion really didn't have any attack power, and he was overjoyed. Woo-woo. The Lion King was scolded and could only let out a slight snort to express his dissatisfaction. Haha, as expected. Zhang Bro, look at this lion. It's such a coward. Fan Ganha walked over and forcefully pulled the fur on the lion's head, pulling off the lion's face. The lion didn't react at all, only grunting and whimpering. Lin Yi, you got yourself a lion with no attack power, and you're still boasting about your bravery? Zhang Duopan was pissed off from being chased by the tiger, and now that he could bully the lion, he jumped out of the car. Lin Yi, how is this bravery? If this is bravery, then I'm a warrior. Fan Ganha punched the lion proudly. Netty? Zhang Duopan saw that the lion didn't resist at all, and went to pull its ear, as expected, this lion is so tame. Meiwe, look at how brave I am. I actually dared to fight the lion. You two idiots, it's the lion that's afraid of Shield Bro, okay? Do you really think the lion is afraid of you? Yushu rolled her eyes at Zhang Duopan and Fanganha. Huh? Who would believe you? Fanganha looked at Yushu with a mocking face. Do you think I'm an idiot? Or is Zhang Bro an idiot? This lion is afraid of Lin Yi? That's right. This is the funniest joke I've ever heard. Do you think lions are humans? That they can understand you? You're an idiot. Zhang Duopan didn't believe it either. Forget it, since you don't believe me. Shield Bro, let's get in the car and let these two die here. Yushu shook her head and sighed. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. He didn't say much and got in the car with Yushu. What do you think? Fanganha proudly went to pull the lion's ear again, but in the next moment, the lion's eyes widened. He felt that something was wrong. This was because the lion's eyes suddenly turned sharp. Roar! The Lion King bit Fanganha's arm. It directly bit through his clothes and tore off a piece of skin from his neck. Yushu was telling it to calm down when Lin Yi was here, and that it could punish Fanganha and Zhang Duopan when Lin Yi wasn't here. Ah! Fanganha screamed. He didn't expect the lion to suddenly change its face and bite people without any warning. However, seeing that Fanganha was bitten, Zhang Duopan wanted to escape, but it was too late. Because he was the lion's next target. After the lion bit Fanganha, it turned to Zhang Duopan and bit his butt. Not only did it tear through his pants, but it also bit off a piece of flesh from his butt. He cried out in pain, and tears almost came out. However, the intense pain made their minds clear. They didn't care about the pain anymore and ran to the car like crazy, their faces extremely pale. However, the severe pain also made the two of them instantly sober up. They couldn't care less about the pain and ran into the car crazily. Their faces became extremely pale. Man, I told you, the lion is afraid of Shield Bro, but you didn't believe me and went down to pretend to be brave. In the end, you're finished, aren't you? Yushu said with a gloating expression. The people in the car were speechless. They didn't know what was going on. Yushu's words sounded reasonable, but if the lion was afraid of Lin Yi and not Zhang Duopan and Fanganha, it was a little too unbelievable. How could the lion tell who was stronger? Plus, after Lin Yi got off the car, he didn't even fight with the lion. Why would the lion be afraid of Lin Yi? Wasn't this baffling? You guys played dirty. Zhang Duopan was about to cry from the pain, but he knew that if he cried now, Meiwe would definitely look down on him. He endured the pain and scolded. Did you guys do it on purpose? On purpose? Are you retarded? I told you that the lion was afraid of Shield Bro. If you didn't believe me, just stand there and die. But you guys didn't believe me, so who can you blame? Yushu said innocently. You. Zhang Duopan wanted to say something, but after thinking about it carefully, he realized that what Yushu said was true. It was indeed him and Fanganha who didn't believe him, but the more Zhang Duopan thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. Why was the lion afraid of Lin Yi? That wasn't possible, right? The lion wasn't a human. Why would it be afraid of a tourist? Plus, this didn't make sense. Zhang Duopan's heart was racing. It wasn't that the lion was afraid of Lin Yi, but that Lin Yi and Yushu had grasped some kind of pattern. Right, that had to be it. They had been provoking the lion before, but since the lion was a lion king, it had a bottom line. It didn't care about their provocation, and it didn't want to lower itself to the level of Lin Yi and Yushu. After that, everyone started to abuse and offend it, and the lion was offended to a certain extent. Even if it was a lion king, it couldn't take it anymore and finally went crazy. But before it went crazy, Lin Yi and Yushu must have noticed something, and so they got on the car first, saying things like the lion was afraid of Lin Yi, and so Zhang Duopan and Fanganha didn't notice it in time. That had to be it. Otherwise, why would the lion only take a bite out of him and Fanganha? If he wanted to kill them instantly, it would be a matter of minutes, but the Lion King did not do so, which meant that the Lion King was still very arrogant. He did not want to lower himself to the level of people like them who did not have the ability to attack. In the end, he was forced into a corner and only said those words to scare them. With that thought, Zhang Duopan felt that he'd grasped the pattern. He didn't want to be the one to suffer, so he turned to Lin Yi and Yushu. Didn't you say that the lion was scared of Lin Yi? If you have the guts, why don't you get off the car and try again? Why should we get off? You want us to get off just because you want us to? It's so tiring to get on and off. Yushu said disdainfully. Are you scared now? Now that the lion's pissed off, you guys must be too scared to get off. Fanganha said mockingly. Didn't you say that Xinyan likes brave people? Lin Yi, if you dare to get out of the car now, I'll admit that you're a brave man. Target equals _blank. Chapter 2032. You'll stop harassing Xinyan if I get out? And you'll give up on Himeiwe too? Lin Yi looked at Zhang Duopan and Fanganha. If you get out, and we don't dare to get out, then we'll admit defeat. Zhang Duopan didn't make it clear that if Lin Yi got out, then they'd do the same. If Lin Yi got out and the lion caught up, then the bet wouldn't count. Lin Yi got in the car because of the lion, so there was no point in him being brave anymore. Oh, shoo, let's go see the lion then, Lin Yi said. Okay. Yushu nodded. This lion seems to be living a good life, and it's even a king. I wonder if it has any treasures to give me? And so, the two got out of the car. Zhang Duopan and Fanganha, on the other hand, were waiting for the lion to go crazy again and bite Lin Yi and Yushu. But there was a big difference between wishes and reality. Lin Yi and Yushu got out of the car, and the raging lion suddenly became docile again. It had a smile on its face, looking harmless, as if it wasn't the one going crazy earlier. Bite him. Bite them. Zhang Duopan called out in his mind, but the lion didn't listen to him at all. Hey, lion, you seem to be living a good life here. Don't you have any treasures to give me? Yushu asked. Woo. The lion knew that Yushu was up to no good, so she started asking for treasures. But the lion didn't dare defy it. Yushu's anger wouldn't be a joke if he didn't give it to her, especially Lin Yi, who was beside him. He'd probably die if the girl gave him a beating, and he'd never be able to be the Lion King again. Thinking of this, the lion hurriedly ran back to its nest at the back of its territory. It carefully found something and held it in its mouth. Then, it ran back and raised its head like it was presenting a treasure. Yushu stretched her hand out, and the lion spat the thing out. It was a round, milky white orb that looked like a pearl, but wasn't. It looked like a gemstone, but wasn't. It was a weird thing, and Yushu couldn't figure out what it was even after looking at it for a while. What is this? You stupid lion. Don't tell me you tricked me with a piece of trash? Yushu wasn't expecting the lion to really take out a treasure, but she didn't know if it was a treasure or what it was for. Woo! The lion put on a sad face after hearing Yushu's words. It didn't know how to speak human language, or else it would have explained that this was a treasure the Tiger King found in the primeval forest, and that he gave it to it after he became king. It was really something good. Let me see. Lin Yi frowned as he took the white orb from Yushu's hands and looked at it carefully. This thing should be a treasure, no doubt about it. It wasn't that Lin Yi trusted the lion, but that he sensed a powerful energy within the white bead the moment it appeared. He didn't know what kind of energy it was or what it was used for, but he didn't know yet. Shield bro, can you tell what this is? Yushu asked curiously. Not at the moment, but I'll keep it, Lin Yi said as he put the orb in his pocket. Zhang Duopan and Fanganha saw the lion give the orb to Lin Yi and Yushu, but their eyes told them that it wasn't a jewel or a pearl. It looked more like a useless rock, and they didn't pay much attention to it. What they were curious about was why the lion seemed to have become so docile again. Could it be that the lion had a mental disorder and had a dual personality? Zhang Duopan, Fanganha, I'm getting off the car. What do you guys have to say? Lin Yi was shocked as to where the lion got such a treasure from, but he pretended like he didn't care as he changed the topic to Zhang Duopan and Fanganha. That doesn't mean anything. We'd get off the car too. Zhang Duopan's confidence returned after seeing that Lin Yi and Yushu were fine. He forgot about the pain and decided to get off the car to check it out. Oh, you guys get off then. Don't blame me for not warning you if you get bitten again, Yushu said. This lion's only afraid of Shield bro, not you guys. Fuck. You think a lion's IQ is high enough to know who it's afraid of? Zhang Duopan didn't believe Yushu at all. I say, This lion must have some kind of mental disorder. You guys have some kind of pattern. That's why you're acting like this. Holy shit. Yushu's eyes went wide as she looked at Zhang Duopan. How is it? Surprised, right? I guessed it right, right? Zhang Duopan was even more sure that he was right after seeing Yushu's expression. No, I just think that your thinking is too fantastical. You can go to Hollywood now, Yushu said. It doesn't matter if you don't admit it. Ganha, let's get off the car. Zhang Duopan wanted to get off the car first, but he suddenly remembered that his butt was still exposed. When he got on the car, he was facing the people in the car. It was fine, but when he turned around and got off the car, his butt was exposed. Student Zhang really knows how to act like a gangster. Bai Weitua curled his lips. There's a girl in the car. Ugh. Zhang Duopan had forgotten about the pain in his butt. As a result, he was reminded, and the pain was unbearable. But at this time, he couldn't show it. That would be a bit too cowardly. He could only take off his clothes and wrap it around his waist. He said, sorry. Fanganha was a sports student, and getting hurt in fights was a common occurrence. He could take the bite on his arm and nodded before getting off the car with Zhang Duopan. But they didn't expect tragedy to befall them as soon as they got off the car. The originally docile lion suddenly pounced at Zhang Duopan. Fuck. Zhang Duopan hadn't even finished getting out of the car. When he saw the lion pouncing at him, he was so scared that he hurriedly dodged backward. As a result, he accidentally fell on his butt in the car. With a wail, his butt fell to the ground and touched his wound. The pain was excruciating. Fanganha, on the other hand, was better off. He was behind Zhang Duopan, and although he was knocked into by Zhang Duopan, he didn't suffer much. Target equals _blank. Chapter 2033. That posture was like a victor looking down on a weakling. Zhang Duopan's face turned red and white. The lion's actions confirmed Yushu's words. The lion was afraid of Lin Yi, but not him. He was attacked as soon as he got out of the car, and Lin Yi had been standing there for a long time. The lion was just trying to please him, and this almost made Zhang Duopan speechless. How could this lion tell who was stronger? But Zhang Duopan didn't see anything special about Lin Yi and Yushu. But Zhang Duopan didn't want to keep his word. He laughed it off. My butt hurts like hell, and it looks really bad. I can't even walk properly. I can't get out of the car. Uncle Yin, let's go. I'm going to the hospital. Zhang Duopan, do you mean what you said before? Stay away from Himewa from now on? Bai Weitua asked. What I said before. I dare get out of the car too, but my butt hurts so I can't walk. It doesn't count as my loss. I just want to go to the hospital. Zhang Duopan said. Bai Weitua, you wouldn't put a patient in a difficult position, would you? Bai Weitua looked at Zhang Duopan with disdain. This guy was obviously using this as an excuse to not acknowledge the previous bet. However, Bai Weitua had a certain degree of understanding of Zhang Duopan's repeated reneging. This guy was thick-skinned and always found an excuse to go back on his word. Bai Weitua didn't want to say anything more. Lin Yi smiled coldly as he got in the car with Yushu. As for Zhang Duopan and Fanganha, Lin Yi didn't care anymore. All he cared about was that white bead. He wanted to go back and see what it was. But if it wasn't for Yushu's luck, this thing would have been buried in the Lion King's hands. So when Zhang Duopan asked to leave, Lin Yi didn't say anything. When he got in the car, Lin Yi saw the mist talking to Wang Xinyan about something. Lin Yi was a little puzzled by the scene. The two weren't that close, were they? Could it be that it had become better along the way? Xinyan smiled at Meng Yao's words. The two seemed to be getting along quite well, and that surprised Lin Yi, but he didn't try to eavesdrop on their conversation. Everyone had their own secrets, and Lin Yi wouldn't try to eavesdrop on the conversation between Meng Yao and Yushu. At first, when Lin Yi saw the Miss and Xinyan sitting together, he thought that the Miss didn't have any close friends in the car, and that Xinyan was the only female acquaintance other than Yushu, so he just sat next to her. But now it seemed like it was all planned. The car started moving slowly. Uncle Yin was confused as to why the lion had chosen Zhang Duopan and Fanganha instead of Lin Yi and Yushu, but he couldn't bring himself to ask after looking at Zhang Duopan's pathetic face. Since Zhang Duopan didn't pursue the matter, Uncle Yin naturally wouldn't meddle in his own affairs. He didn't want Mr. Su to blame him for not being a good host. Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganhe were feeling very wronged. They could endure the physical pain, but the mental pain was breaking them down. They felt that it was strange and unjustified. Why did the lion not bite Linny and Yushu, and even give them a stupid bead? Naturally, Zhang Duopan didn't think that there would be any treasures in the tiger park. After all, this was a scenic area. How could there be treasures? It was probably a big marble or a toy ball thrown by a tourist, and the lion thought it was something good. But no matter what it was, the lion's behavior was strange. Even now, Zhang Duopan still thought that Linny had mastered some kind of pattern, or that Linny had mastered the way to communicate with the lion, and that was why the lion didn't bite him. Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganhe, on the other hand, didn't have this skill, and that was why they ended up in such a tragedy. Some people are not brave, but they pretend to be brave, and in the end, they got bitten by the lion, right? Yushu mocked. He may, see? Can you entrust your life to this kind of man? He's nothing compared to Shield Bro. Of course, Shield Bro can't be given to you, so you can only settle for second best. Bai Weitua is not bad. Himeiwe didn't know whether to laugh or cry after hearing Yushu's words. Linny was indeed outstanding, and if Wang Xinyan wasn't there, she wouldn't mind taking the initiative to pursue him. But with Wang Xinyan's appearance, especially with Mengyao and Yushu by Lin Yi's side, Himeiwe paled in comparison. She knew her place, and although Zhang Duopan and Bai Weitua were infatuated with her, Lin Yi wouldn't have any feelings for her at all. So Himeiwe wouldn't be delusional. She could only settle for second best and set her sights on Zhang Duopan and Bai Weitua, her two pursuers. But Himeiwe didn't want to give up her lifelong happiness so early, so she was considering. Zhang Duopan's playboy aura was too strong, but that wasn't what Himeiwe disliked. What Himeiwe feared the most was that Zhang Duopan would play around with her and then dump her when he was bored. Plus, Zhang Duopan was a bit unreliable. Although his family was rich, he liked to cause trouble. Bai Weitua, on the other hand, didn't have such bad habits, but his family didn't seem to be very rich. Although Bai Weitua and Zhang Duopan had the upper hand in a few confrontations, Himeiwe wasn't an idiot. She knew that the reason why Bai Weitua had the upper hand was because of Lin Yi. It was the same with the drinking competition, the freshman party, and this trip to the Tiger Park. If it wasn't for Lin Yi, the one who would be embarrassed wouldn't be Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganhe, but Bai Weitua. Bai Weitua had rushed out the moment the tiger pounced on them. That was definitely because he saw that the tiger was tamed, and that was why he dared to push Bai Weitua out. It wasn't Bai Weitua's intention. Of course, although Himeiwe didn't see what happened when the tiger went crazy, it was most likely Lin Yi's doing. Otherwise, why would Lin Yi pull Bai Weitua to the back after helping him up? In the end, the powerful person wasn't Bai Weitua, but Lin Yi. So this was the reason why Himeiwe didn't accept Bai Weitua. Lin Yi couldn't always help him, right? If Lin Yi wasn't by his side, his good luck would come to an end. Whether it was the drinking competition, the freshman party, or even the trip to the Tiger Park, he would lose miserably. Target equals _blanked. Chapter 2034. If Lin Yi knew how much Himeiwe was thinking, he'd be shocked. How scheming was this girl? Of course, it didn't have much to do with Lin Yi, since Lin Yi didn't like her in the first place. Zhang Duopan and Fan Ganhe were both injured, and so the two hurried to see the doctor after leaving the Tiger Park. Lin Yi and the others didn't go anywhere else either and went straight back to school. Xinyan was getting out of the car in the school parking lot when the miss winked at her. Tell me if you have any thoughts. Xinyan blushed, not daring to look at the Mississippi. She walked away quickly with her head down. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't know what was going on. What were these two talking about? What did they mean by having thoughts? What thoughts could Xinyan possibly have? And so, on the way home, Lin Yi asked curiously, Yao Yao, what did you say to Xinyan? Nothing much, just getting to know each other a little. I told her to come visit when she's free. Meng Yao said faintly. Visit? Lin Yi felt strange. Wasn't the miss and Shu not too friendly with Xinyan? Why did it change all of a sudden? Lin Yi didn't know that Meng Yao was just getting over it. Since Lin Yi was looking for a big wife, it'd be better for him to get one from someone he was familiar with. If he got an unfamiliar domineering girl, she and Yushu wouldn't be at a disadvantage, but it'd affect their mood. Mingyao didn't reply and changed the topic. By the way, Linny, what did that lion give you in Shu? It doesn't look like anything good. I don't know, but it's definitely something good, Linny said. There's a lot of energy in that thing. Let's get an expert to take a look. It's really good stuff. Yushu was just casually trying to blackmail the lion, not expecting it to actually give her something good. Could it be an energy ball? Energy ball? Lin Yi was stunned. I don't know, but this energy is different from the spiritual energy of the world. Even if it's an energy ball, it's not an ordinary energy ball. That is indeed a fortuitous encounter. Mingyao said, this trip to the Tiger Park wasn't that interesting, but you got something good, so it wasn't a wasted trip. Yeah, it's an unexpected surprise. I'm just accompanying by Wei Tuo. He is Boss Bai's grandson. Boss Bai treats me well, so I have to help him, Lenny said. When he catches up with Himeiwe, I won't get involved. Shield bro, I don't think that Himeiwe is a good person, Yushu said. Shu, don't talk nonsense. Mingyao frowned. Although she wasn't friends with Himeiwe, she didn't have any bad feelings towards her. It wasn't appropriate for Yushu to slander others. I'm not talking nonsense, Yushu said. I just think that Himeiwe is very scheming, but she's still a little worse than you, right? Mingyao said. Not really. Yushu was embarrassed and shut her mouth. Himeiwe doesn't have much to do with us. It's fine as long as Bai Weituo likes her. As long as she doesn't do anything bad to Bai Weituo, there's no need for us to interfere. Linny shrugged and smiled. Besides, it's not a bad thing for a girl to be a little scheming, right, Shu? Oh, how would I know? Yushu looked like she lost. Linny drove the car back to the villa, but when he got close to the villa, he saw Han Jingjing standing in the yard looking around. She ran over excitedly when she saw Lin Yi's car. Han Jingjing's actions made Lin Yi, Yushu, and Mingyao curious. What was this girl doing standing in the yard in the cold? Although it wasn't that cold yet, the weather in November was still very cold. If Han Jingjing stood in the courtyard alone for a long time, she would definitely catch a cold. Han Jingjing, what are you doing? Linny got out of the car and asked curiously. Linny bro, you're back. I'm waiting for the car, Han Jingjing said. Waiting for the car? Linny was speechless. Waiting for my car? Are you going out? No, I'm waiting for your car to come back. I have something to talk to you about, Han Jingjing said. But you don't have to wait in the yard. Aren't you afraid of catching a cold? Linny didn't know what to say to Han Jingjing's actions. Jingjing's not afraid of catching a cold. Linny bro's really good at treating colds, and it feels really good too. Last time Jingjing got a bunch of water, it felt really good, Han Jingjing said. Pfft, ahem. Linny choked on Han Jingjing's words. Why did Han Jingjing's words have so many different meanings? Oh. Yushu looked at Linny strangely as well. Shield bro, didn't you say you didn't touch her last time? Why would she feel good and get water? Mingyao wasn't as bold as Yushu, asking everything out loud. She frowned as she looked at Linny, puzzled. She was just thinking about accepting Xinyan. But why did it seem like Linny was interested in Han Jingjing instead? Acupuncture. She got sweaty and took a shower, so it felt good. Linny explained, sweating. Yushu and Mingyao were speechless. It was hard not to think dirty thoughts from Han Jingjing's words. Linny bro, what's wrong with them? Why are you looking at Jingjing with that weird look? Is there something on Jingjing's face? Han Jingjing asked curiously. No, let's not talk about that. Why are you waiting for me here? Lin Yi didn't want to continue the topic. Right. Jingjing almost forgot something important. Han Jingjing lowered her voice. Linny bro, Jingjing made a refinement fire. Wah. Lin Yi's jaw almost dropped. Refinement fire? It had only been a few days, and Han Jingjing had already made it? What's wrong, Linny bro? Is Jingjing stupid? It's been so many days. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi innocently. But Jingjing's been working so hard. That refinement fire practitioner's arts went through Jingjing's calculations and scientific optimizations. That's why I was able to make it today. It would have taken me a long time otherwise. Target equals _ blank. Chapter 2035. Linny had the urge to kill himself after hearing Han Jingjing's words. He'd rather die than live. He was an idiot among idiots. Han Jingjing was able to condense her refinement fire in just a few days. One had to know that she started off as a normal person. She had to first become a practitioner and condense her chi, successfully crossing from a normal person to a golden class early phase master. Although it was relatively easy for a normal person to cross from a normal person to a golden class with the help of a refiner's art, it would take at most 1 or 2 years, at least 1 or 2 months. But that was still 1 or 2 months. Han Jingjing had only done it for a few days. Even if Han Jingjing was a golden class now, it didn't mean that she had the strength of a golden class master. But it was still shocking to Lin Yi. Yao Yao, Shu, you guys go back to the villa first. I have something to talk to Jing. Lin Yi took a deep breath, suppressing his shock as he spoke to Ming Yao and Yu Shu. There are no outsiders in our villa. Let Jing come in too. Ming Yao wasn't someone who didn't see the big picture. If Han Jingjing really could concoct pills, then it'd solve a lot of Lin Yi's problems. She'd be of great help to him, and so Ming Yao decided that she'd have to build a good relationship with this girl next door. Sure. Lin Yi nodded and said to Han Jingjing, let's talk at my house. Okay. I haven't been to Lin Yi Big Bro's house yet. I'll go now. Han Jingjing nodded and was about to enter the villa with Lin Yi when she slapped her forehead. Wait, Jingjing's tablet isn't here yet. I'll go get it. After saying that, Han Jingjing ran back to her villa again. Not long after, she appeared in front of everyone again with a tablet in her arms. Wow, Lin Yi Big Bro, your villa is so cozy. Han Jingjing said in surprise as soon as she entered the door. It's not as luxurious as yours. Lin Yi smiled, but Jingjing doesn't like those retro decorations. Han Jingjing shook her head. Jingjing, come to my room. Lin Yi's attention was not on the decorations. What Lin Yi wanted to see the most was whether Han Jingjing could really condense the pill fire. Okay, Han Jingjing nodded. Ming Yao and Yu Shu, on the other hand, didn't disturb him. They didn't know how to concoct pills at all, and they didn't want to join in the fun. They waited quietly in the living room. Brother Lin Yi, is this your room? It's so cozy. Jingjing wants to move in. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi's room, and her eyes immediately revealed a look of love. Okay, feel free to sit. Lin Yi smiled. As for moving here, forget it. If you like it, I'll get someone to renovate your villa. Then don't trouble yourself. Han Jingjing shook her head and took off her shoes. She curled up her legs and sat on Lin Yi's bed. You can already condense a pill flame? Does that mean you're a golden class now? Lin Yi asked. Yeah, according to that refiner's arts, Jingjing should be at the early phase of the golden class. I'm just at the entry level. Han Jingjing nodded. Entry. A few days of golden class. Lin Yi took a deep breath and sighed. I'm really surprised. Jingjing, you're amazing. Lin Yi didn't pay much attention when he was outside, but now that he was in the room, Lin Yi could tell that Han Jingjing really did have the spiritual strength of the early phase of the golden class. It wasn't much of a help in actual combat, but Han Jingjing was a solid golden class. Is Jingjing really that amazing? Han Jingjing touched her blushing cheeks, a little embarrassed, as if she'd gotten a compliment from Lin Yi. Jingjing thought I was stupid. No, you're not. You're one of the strongest prodigies I've ever seen. Lin Yi thought that Zhang Naipeo and Xiao Xiao were prodigies too, right? Their speed was also very fast. Jingjing is so happy. Jingjing was very nervous before this. Han Jingjing said happily. Lin Yi bro, then Jingjing will show you how to condense a pill flame now, okay? Okay, go ahead. Lin Yi nodded with a serious face. Yeah. Han Jingjing also withdrew her joyful expression. Her originally adorable little face also became incomparably solemn. She extended her right hand and in a split second, a bright red flame appeared out of thin air in her palm. This was a fire element pill flame. That fast? Lin Yi's eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. This speed was much faster than Lin Yi's condensing speed. But one had to know that the refinement fire formula boss Bai gave him was much more complicated than the one he got from Zhang Liju. It required the qi to circulate through all the meridians in the body for a long time before the refinement fire could be formed in the palm. But Han Jingjing didn't wait that long, and the refinement fire appeared in her palm right away. This was unbelievable to Lin Yi. What kind of speed was Han Jingjing at? That's already fast? Jingjing feels like it's still a bit slow. Han Jingjing put away the refinement fire in her hand. That's slow. Lin Yi's self-esteem took a huge hit. This Han Jingjing was a monster. But Lin Yi couldn't understand why Han Jingjing's refinement fire was so fast. One had to know that according to Boss Bai's formula, it was already very fast to condense the refinement fire in 3 minutes. 5 minutes was the normal time. Although the formula he got from Zhang Liju's tomb was faster than this, it would normally take around a minute or 30 to 50 seconds. But it wasn't as fast as Han Jingjing, who could condense the refinement fire in 20 seconds. Of course, the speed at which the alchemy fire was condensed had nothing to do with alchemy. This was because alchemy was a quiet and patient job. It could not be rushed. One had to be fully prepared before they could concentrate on refining the alchemy in seclusion until the alchemy was completed or failed. So when the refinement started, the speed of condensing the refinement fire didn't matter at all. Tens of seconds or tens of minutes were the same, as long as the refinement fire was formed. This was also the reason why Boss Bai didn't learn any other after he got used to this formula. After all roads lead to Rome. The only difference was the speed, but the result was the same. There was no need for Boss Bai to study other formulas. Target equals _blank. Chapter 2036. However, Lin Yi was very puzzled. How did Han Jingjing do it? Jingjing doesn't know either. Jingjing thought it was still a bit slow. Han Jingjing said, "Jingjing, how did you do it? From what I know, the mantra I gave you to condense the fire requires at least 3 minutes to condense the fire, right? How did you do it in 20 seconds? Lin Yi was full of doubts. That's because Jingjing modified the mantra for congealing the core fire. Han Jingjing said, "It did take 3 minutes before, but Jingjing thought it was too slow. I was afraid that when I demonstrated it to Big Brother Lin Yi, Big Brother would get impatient or think that Jingjing was too stupid and ignore me in the future. So Jingjing changed the mantra for condensing the fire. This thing can be changed?" Lin Yi felt like he was about to explode. His endurance was reaching its limit. Yes. Han Jingjing nodded matter-of-factly. Then, she quickly opened the tablet and pulled up a picture. It was a meridian diagram of the human body. After enlarging it, she explained to Lin Yi, "Big Brother Lin Yi, look. The mantra for condensing the fire was like this. It guided the true qi in the body through this main meridian, and then through this meridian to the qi-hai acupoint. But according to Jingjing's judgment, if the true qi didn't go this way, but this meridian, and split into 3 small streams of true qi, passing through a few small meridians near the main meridian, and then to this meridian before finally returning to the qi-hai acupoint, then the speed would be much faster. Although the cross-section of these small meridians is small, their length is shorter than the main meridian. Also, the true qi is split into 3 streams, passing through 3 small meridians. This way, the time is even shorter. Finally, the true qi will gather in this meridian and reach the qi-hai acupoint, saving some time. Similarly, the other meridians are the same." After listening to Han Jingjing's explanation, Lin Yi was so shocked that his eyeballs almost popped out. This works too? This Han Jingjing was really scientific in alchemy. She could even think of this method. It could simply be described as shocking. "Jingjing, you're amazing." Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's tablet and was speechless for a long time. After a while, he came back to his senses and spat out these words. "Really? Big Brother Lin Yi, you're the best. Jingjing also feels very awesome after being praised by you." Han Jingjing tilted her head and the corners of her mouth curled up into a beautiful arc. 2 dimples appeared on her beautiful and fair face. She was obviously very happy. Lin Yi took a deep breath and nodded. "Jingjing, you really are a genius." Actually, my family always praises me, but I don't know if they're really praising me or just spoiling me. But Lin Yi Big Bro's words definitely won't be false." Han Jingjing said happily. Actually, in Jingjing's eyes, This refinement fire condensing chant is a bit complicated. Some of the steps can be skipped, but Jing Jing doesn't have the time to analyze and test them one by one. Right now, Jing Jing is just shortening some of the cheese path. After hearing Han Jingjing's words, Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. The one he had in his hand was Zhang Liju's refinement fire condensing arts, but it wasn't as complicated as Boss Bai's. It was probably what Han Jingjing had said, removing some useless steps. If he gave that refinement fire condensing arts to Han Jingjing, who knew what kind of shocking things this genius girl could create. But Lin Yi temporarily suppressed that idea. After all, shortening the condensing time didn't have much use for real elixir refinement, unless it was a competition with a fixed time, or in some emergency situation. The rest was just showing off in front of other refiners. Other than that, the condensing time of the refinement fire really didn't have any other uses. That was all Lin Yi could think of. Jing Jing, other than condensing the refinement fire, can you also change the intensity and temperature of the refinement fire? Lin Yi asked. I can. Han Jingjing's reply made Lin Yi's heart tighten again. If it weren't for Lin Yi's strong will, he would have been beaten black and blue by now. I can? Then show me. Lin Yi said. Okay. Han Jingjing nodded and put down the tablet. She reached out her right hand again, and very quickly, the refinement fire appeared again. But this time, after the refinement fire appeared, Han Jingjing began to control it, making it grow stronger and stronger. Hiss. Lin Yi took in a cold breath as he looked at Han Jingjing's right hand. He wanted to cut it off and put it on his own. Lin Yi was also a dabbler refiner, and naturally, he could clearly feel the fire growing stronger and stronger. What shocked Lin Yi wasn't just that Han Jingjing could change the intensity of the fire, but the precision of Han Jingjing's control. The fire was changing bit by bit, becoming stronger and stronger, and not that kind of big and small. This meant that Han Jingjing could already change the intensity of the fire as she pleased. As expected, the refinement fire on Han Jingjing's right hand gradually became smaller and smaller, smaller and smaller, until it was so weak that it was about to be extinguished, but it didn't go out. It was obvious that Han Jingjing's control was more precise. What about the temperature? Lin Yi took a deep breath and continued to ask. It can also. At this moment, Han Jingjing's forehead had formed a thin layer of sweat. Obviously, controlling the refinement fire consumed a lot of physical strength. As soon as Han Jingjing's voice fell, Lin Yi suddenly felt that the refinement fire in Han Jingjing's hand quickly became hot, and the temperature of the whole room was raised at this moment. Good. Lin Yi couldn't help but cheer. This Han Jingjing really surprised him. She was actually so talented in the art of alchemy. Brother Lin Yi. Jing Jing can't hold it anymore. Jing Jing can't hold it anymore. Just after Lin Yi cheered, Han Jingjing's breathing became rapid, and she said weakly. In the end, her voice turned into a moan. Lin Yi suddenly had black lines on his head. He naturally knew what Han Jingjing meant. Alchemy was a matter that consumed a lot of physical strength, and controlling the refinement fire out of thin air was the same. Han Jingjing was only an alchemist with the strength of the early stage of the golden class. It was already not bad for her to be able to hold on for so long. So at this time, it was normal that she couldn't hold on anymore. After Han Jingjing finished this sentence, she put away the refinement fire on her right hand and fell on Lin Yi's bed, as if she was very weak and couldn't speak anymore. And the sweat on her forehead instantly rolled onto Lin Yi's bed, making it wet. Target equals blank. Chapter 2037. Although the refiner could condense the fire, the point of elixir making was to do it in one go. There couldn't be any interruption in the middle. It wasn't possible to stop halfway, rest, recover for a few days, and then continue. That was impossible. As long as one stopped halfway, the elixir would basically be useless, and there was no way to divide the elixir into multiple batches. Looking at Han Jingjing, who was lying on the bed with a red face, Lin Yi sweated in his heart. This was too easy to misunderstand. Outside the room, Detective Shu 007 widened his eyes and said to Mingyao in disbelief, Yao Yao sis, Shield bro, and that Han Jingjing seem to be together. Mingyao naturally heard Han Jingjing's voice. In fact, when Lin Yi and Han Jingjing entered the room, Mingyao and Yushu didn't even dare to turn on the TV. so they didn't dare to disturb them. Thus, in the quiet villa, the sound became very clear, and they could vaguely hear the conversation in Lin Yi's room. However, although it was full of ambiguity, Meng Yao still trusted Lin Yi's character. So she said, "Shu, don't talk nonsense, it's not what you think." "But it seems like it," Yushu said. With Detective Shu's judgment, something must have happened inside. Although Meng Yao didn't think that Lin Yi was that kind of person, doing something dirty with Han Jingjing in the room, but Shu's words made her curious, and she wanted to go into the room to see what was going on. However, before Yushu knocked on the door, Lin Yi opened it first and saw Shu standing at the door. He was surprised. "Shu, why are you here?" I heard from Han Jingjing that she couldn't hold on much longer. I was worried about her, so I came to check," Yushu said. "Are you just worried about her?" Lin Yi looked at Xiao Shu, who was trying to see the situation in the room, and asked with a faint smile. Yeah." Yushu, naturally, wouldn't admit that she was here to catch them in the act. "Go in then. Look at how anxious you are," Lin Yi said with a smile as he stepped aside, letting Yushu in. "Sniff, sniff." Yushu sniffed the air, trying to sniff the room for something special. She couldn't smell anything at all, only to be disappointed. Yushu's eyes moved to the bed in the room, and her heart skipped a beat when she saw Han Jingjing lying on the bed. She frowned when she saw the clothes Han Jingjing was wearing. Was it really nothing? Or were they fast enough to get dressed already? Yushu walked up to the bed and saw the puddle of water on it. "Holy shit, shield bro. Did Han Jingjing do this?" Yushu said, shocked. "Yeah." Lin Yi nodded, not thinking much of it. Yushu, on the other hand, was different. She'd read about it in books before, and she thought that Han Jingjing knew how to do it. Yushu sniffed the puddle of water on the bed with the spirit of research and asked curiously, "There doesn't seem to be any smell?" "That's Jingjing's sweat. What smell could there be?" Lin Yi sweated. What was Yushu thinking? She's sweating. Yushu realized that she was thinking too much, but said, "Why is she sweating so much? Did she catch a cold and Shield Bro cured her? Is that why she's sweating so much?" Condensing alchemy is tiring. Lin Yi looked at Yushu and smiled. "Shu, you're not thinking about something unhealthy again, are you?" "No, I'm just here to comfort Han Jingjing on behalf of Yao Yao Sis. She knows alchemy, so naturally, she'll be very useful to Shield Bro in the future. Yao Yao Sis, and I don't want anything to happen to her," Yushu said confidently. "Really?" Lin Yi asked. "Of course." Yushu nodded. "All right, let her rest for a while. Let's not disturb her," Lin Yi said. Han Jingjing was too tired, so she fell asleep on the bed. Lin Yi didn't want to disturb her. Originally, Lin Yi wanted to use the art of dragon mastery to help her recover her strength, but since she fell asleep, he'd wait until she woke up. At this point, Lin Yi didn't want to hide anything from Han Jingjing anymore. Lin Yi also planned to let Han Jingjing study the refinement art he got from Zhang Liju's tomb. This genius girl didn't hold back at all, telling him such a powerful research result. If Lin Yi kept it a secret, then it wouldn't be right. And he could tell that Han Jingjing didn't have any bad intentions towards Lin Yi. On the contrary, she seemed to rely on him. She didn't tell anyone else about good things, but only him. As a result, Lin Yi had quite a good impression of Han Jingjing. Yushu didn't find anything and couldn't help but feel disappointed. She left the room and saw Meng Yao's questioning gaze. Yushu shook her head. Meng Yao smiled at Yushu's expression. She had guessed that there was nothing going on between Han Jingjing and Lin Yi, and it turned out to be the case. Sitting on the sofa with Yushu, Lin Yi took out the round bead he got from the Tiger Lion Garden and started studying it. This thing was very odd. It looked like calcification, and it was round in shape, but it didn't have much luster. It was a bit dark, but within the bead, Lin Yi could clearly feel that there was a very high level of energy. However, this energy was different from normal spiritual qi. It was more like some kind of pure qi was injected into it, and he didn't know what it was for. Lin Yi's instincts told him that this was most likely a good one. But even if it was a good thing, Lin Yi didn't know what it was. He could only take a picture with his phone and send it to Old Lin. Old Lin was very knowledgeable, and he might know what it was and what it was for. When he sent the email, he told Old Lin about the origin of this thing, as well as the fact that there was energy within it. But To Lin Yi's disappointment, old Lin's reply came very quickly. Old Lin's answer was that he didn't know, and he'd never seen or heard of it before. How is it? Yushu was a little anxious as well, wanting to know what it was. Nothing much. The old man doesn't know either. Lin Yi shook his head. Looks like this thing really isn't common. Target equals for blank. Chapter 2038. That's true. I'll send another message to Faubert and ask. Lin Yi heard Meng Yao's suggestion and felt that it was doable. He sent another message to Faubert. This time, Uncle Fu didn't reply. Instead, he called him back. Faubert. Lin Yi picked up the phone. This thing you sent me. I think I remember it. There was something similar in the sect's treasury, but there were too many things in there, and I didn't pay much attention to the things that weren't useful to my training. Faubert hesitated and said embarrassedly, I didn't have to worry about anything in the sect. The only thing I had to do was train. Oh, there's something like this? Lin Yi was surprised. If Faubert had something like this in the sect's treasury, then it shouldn't be trash. Yes, if my master was here, he might recognize it, but Faubert said, I really don't remember what it is. Forget it, it's fine. Since you don't remember it, there's no need to worry. Lin Yi didn't dwell on the problem. Faubert, you go ahead. I'll look into it myself. Okay, I'm really sorry, I couldn't help much. Faubert had always been grateful to Lin Yi, and he always wanted to help Lin Yi, especially when Lin Yi not only helped him, but also Grandma Sunday. Faubert couldn't thank him enough, but Lin Yi didn't have anything to trouble him with. This one time, he couldn't help him. It's all right. Lin Yi smiled. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi continued to fiddle with the bead in his hand. Since Han Jingjing had not woken up yet, Lin Yi had nothing to do now, so he naturally continued to study this treasure. That lion has been with Sky Thunder Pig and General Weiwu for so long. His eyes shouldn't be that bad. Xiao Shu mumbled. Looks like this is a good treasure, but I don't know how to use it. Thunder Pig? Lin Yi's eyes lit up. At the mention of the Skybolt Pig, Lin Yi thought of a way to test whether or not it was a good thing. Little Shu, go get the Skybolt Pig. Lin Yi said. Oh, Lightning Pig? Yushu blinked, but got up and walked out the villa's back door anyways. Not long after, she was back with the pig in her arms. Skybolt Pig, take a look and see if this is a treasure, Lin Yi said as he placed the bead on the floor in front of Skybolt Pig. Skybolt Pig's ability to identify treasures was extraordinary. This guy was very good. He could tell what was valuable and what wasn't with just one look. Meng Yao and Yushu suddenly understood Lin Yi's intention. Lin Yi wanted to use Skybolt Pig to test the value of this thing. Rawr! Seeing the round bead on the ground, the Sky Thunder Pig cried out in excitement. It used its two front paws to pick up the bead and held it in its bosom, as if it had found a rare treasure. It really is a good thing. Lin Yi nodded. Skybolt Pig's action said it all. If it wasn't a good thing, Skybolt Pig wouldn't react like this. One had to know that this little guy wouldn't be interested in normal treasures. Rawr! Skybolt Pig heard Lin Yi's words and nodded. Skybolt Pig, looking at you, you must know what this is, right? Lin Yi pointed at the bead in Skybolt Pig's arms. Rawr! Skybolt Pig nodded. Chapter 2051. Spiritual Beast Core, should we ask Faubert? Meng Yao suddenly said, Faubert used to be from a big sect. Would he know what this is? You're right. I'll send a message to Faubert and ask. Lin Yi heard Meng Yao's suggestion and felt that it was doable. He sent another message to Faubert. This time, Faubert didn't reply but called him directly. Faubert. Lin Yi picked up the phone. This thing you sent me. I think I remember it. There was something like this in the sect's treasury, but there were too many things in there. I didn't pay much attention to the things that weren't useful for my training. Faubert hesitated and said, embarrassed, I didn't have to worry about anything in the sect. The only thing I had to do was train. Oh, there's something like this? Lin Yi was surprised. If Faubert had something like this in the sect's treasury, then it shouldn't be trash. Yes. If my master was here, he might recognize it, but Faubert said, I really don't remember what it is. Forget it, it's fine. Since you don't remember, There's no need to worry. Linny didn't dwell on this question and said, Faubert, you go ahead. I'll look into it myself. Okay, I'm really sorry, I couldn't help much. Faubert had always been grateful to Lin E and always wanted to help Lin E. Especially when Lin E not only helped him but also Grandma's son, Faubert was very grateful. However, Lin E didn't have anything to trouble him. This time, he couldn't help him. It's fine, Linny smiled. After hanging up the phone, Linny continued to play with the bead in his hand. Since Han Jingjing hadn't woken up, Linny had nothing to do now, so he continued to study this treasure. That lion has been with Skybolt Pig and General Weiwu for so long. His eyes shouldn't be that bad. Shu muttered, Looks like this is a good treasure, but I don't know how to use it. Skybolt Pig? Lin Yi's eyes lit up. Mentioning Skybolt Pig made Lin Yi think of a way to test whether this thing was good or not. Shu, go get Skybolt Pig. Lin Yi said. Oh, Skybolt Pig? Yushu paused, but she still got up and walked out of the villa's back door. After a while, she carried Skybolt Pig into the villa. Skybolt Pig, take a look and see if this is a treasure, Linny said as he placed the bead on the floor in front of Skybolt Pig. Skybolt Pig's ability to identify treasures was extraordinary. This guy was very good. He could tell what was valuable and what wasn't. Mengyao and Yushu suddenly understood Lin Yi's intention. Lin Yi wanted to use Skybolt Pig to test the value of this thing. Chirp chirp. Seeing the round bead on the ground, the Sky Thunder Pig cried out in excitement. It used its 2 front paws to pick up the bead and held it in its bosom, as if it had found a rare treasure. It really is a good thing. Lin Yi nodded. Skybolt Pig's action said it all. If it wasn't a good thing, Skybolt Pig wouldn't react like this. After all, this little guy wouldn't be interested in normal treasures. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig heard Lin Yi's words and nodded. Skybolt Pig, looking at you, you must know what this thing is, right? Lin Yi pointed at the bead in Skybolt Pig's arms. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig nodded. Then what is this thing? What does it do? Lin Yi saw Skybolt Pig nodding and quickly asked. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig gestured with his paws and pointed at the solid wood on the floor of the villa. He shook his head. Oh, you're saying that you can't write on the floor? Lin Yi suddenly remembered that Skybolt Pig could write with his paws to communicate with Lin Yi on the Ice Palace Mountain. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig quickly nodded. Let's go to the backyard. Lin Yi, naturally, didn't want to go to the front yard. He could see what was going on in the villa from the outside. If someone saw a pig communicating with a human on the floor, wouldn't they be scared to death? The backyard, on the other hand, was private property. It was surrounded by a high wall, and people wouldn't be able to see it unless they climbed the wall. Mengyao and Yushu had heard from Lin Yi that Skybolt Pig could write, but it was their first time seeing it. They couldn't help but wonder. What is this thing? Lin Yi pointed at the bead in Skybolt Pig's arms. Skybolt Pig used his front paw to write on the soft soil in the backyard. Spirit Beast Essence Core. Spirit Beast Essence Core? Lin Yi paused. What is this? Spirit beasts form an essence core in their body, and spirit beasts of sky class and above have an essence core. Skybolt Pig said, You're saying that this is a sky class spirit beast essence core? Lin Yi asked, surprised. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig nodded with the bead in his arms. What is this thing used for? Lin Yi asked. Spirit beasts can use it for training, and humans can use it to make elixirs. Skybolt Pig said, Training? Oh, you can just train with me. You don't need this. Lin Yi said as he snatched the bead from Skybolt Pig's arms. Chirp chirp. Skybolt Pig felt wronged and wrote, Even for training, spirit beasts don't know how to use it. Don't know how to use it? That's even better. Lin Yi was glad that Skybolt Pig didn't know how to use it. If the lion used it on him, it would be his turn to give it to Lin Yi. What kind of spirit beast essence core does this thing belong to, and what level is it? Lin Yi asked. My level is too low, I can't tell. Skybolt Pig wrote. Then how do you use it for making elixirs? Lin Yi asked. I don't know. Skybolt Pig wrote again. Even Zhang Liju doesn't know? Lin Yi was surprised that even Skybolt Pig didn't know. Maybe he does, but he never told me. Skybolt Pig shook his head. I see. All right then. Lin Yi put the bead away. Although it didn't seem to be of much use at the moment, it might be useful in the future. Skybolt Pig looked at the treasure being taken away by Lin Yi and felt helpless, but he didn't dare do anything to Lin Yi. After all, it was only a legend that an essence could be used for training. Skybolt Pig didn't know the exact method of training. Target equals _blank. Chapter 2039. It wasn't as beneficial as Lin Yi helping it level up. During this period of time, it and General Weiwu had been following Lin Yi, and now they were already Mystic Late Phase Peak Gaozhu and Gaozhu. This leveling speed was much faster than that illusory inner core. Therefore, Skybolt Pig was only a little disappointed before he returned to his own place to play with General Weiwu. Lin Yi, on the other hand, returned to his room with Ming Yao and Yu Shu. Han Jingjing woke up as well, stretching lazily as she let out a seductive moan. Yao Yao, don't you think that this Han Jingjing is trying to seduce Shield Bro a little? Yu Shu whispered to Ming Yao. Is that so? Ming Yao blinked. Han Jingjing's so dumb. She shouldn't have any ulterior motives, right? Shu's dumb too. Yu Shu said. Do you think anyone can be Shu? Ming Yao said. I don't think so, but this Han Jingjing does have some talent in elixir making. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't think so highly of her. After all, Lin Yi rushed to Han Jingjing's room the moment she woke up. Jingjing, you're awake? Lin Yi bro, did Jingjing fall asleep? Han Jingjing rubbed her eyes sleepily. I'm sorry, I was so tired. I couldn't take it anymore and fell asleep. I didn't do it on purpose. Lin Yi bro, you're not mad, are you? Why would I be mad? Lin Yi smiled. You used up a lot of chi to condense the fire. It's normal to be tired. Jingjing thought that I was useless. It's good that I'm normal. Han Jingjing said happily. Lin Yi bro, Jingjing learned this now. But I used up all my chi just now. Although this refiner's arts can recover my chi really quickly, I'll need to go back and train for a few days to recover. I can't practice with Lin Yi bro for now. No need. I can recover now, Lin Yi said. However, don't tell anyone about what happened next, not even your brother. Can you do that? Of course. Jingjing's mouth is very tight. She never talks nonsense. Han Jingjing said, no one in the family knows that Jingjing is learning alchemy. Even my brother doesn't know what Jingjing is doing. That's good, Lin Yi said, because what's going to happen next might be unimaginable. So you must keep it a secret and not tell anyone. In that case, I'll only be good to Big Brother Lin Yi from now on. I won't have any contact with anyone else. That way, I won't have a chance to say it. Han Jingjing nodded and promised. There's no need for that. There's no problem with normal interactions. Lin Yi broke into a sweat. This Han Jingjing wouldn't be with anyone else in the future. Was she going to cling on to him for the rest of her life? However, this kind of alchemy genius, Lin Yi really couldn't bear to push her to others. An evil thought of taking her for himself arose in the bottom of Lin Yi's heart. Lin Yi quickly shook his head and dispelled this unrealistic idea. In any case, Jingjing will listen to Big Brother Lin Yi in the future. Han Jingjing said, give me your hand. Lin Yi said, in a while, I will help you recover your physical strength. At the same time, I will also help you improve your strength. You just need to circulate the alchemist's auxiliary mantra like usual. Okay, Jingjing understands. Han Jingjing stretched out her hands and handed them to Lin Yi. Lin Yi reached out and checked Han Jingjing's pulse. But what surprised Lin Yi was that Han Jingjing didn't seem to ask why recently. It seemed like she trusted what he said more. She didn't question anything he asked her to do. Fortunately, he didn't have any bad thoughts towards her. Otherwise, this genius girl would trust others too easily. This wasn't a good thing. If she was cheated, it would be too late to regret it. In the past, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing weren't very familiar, so he didn't care so much. But now that he was familiar with Han Jingjing, and Han Jingjing knew alchemy, Lin Yi had to watch out for her in the future. He couldn't let her be cheated by others. Lin Yi directly circulated the second level of the Art of Dragon Mastery. Now, Lin Yi could already circulate the second level skillfully. Although it hadn't reached the perfect state, it was easy to help others recover their physical strength and improve their strength. Plus, Lin Yi didn't require Han Jingjing to reach Earth class. As long as she reached mystic late phase peak, that would be enough. Han Jingjing was operating the alchemist auxiliary mental cultivation method when she suddenly felt a powerful energy that belonged to her pouring into her body from her meridians. Han Jingjing's eyes flashed with a strange light, but she didn't have time to hesitate. She hurriedly operated the mental cultivation method and absorbed this energy into her body. Golden class early phase. Very quickly, Han Jingjing's physical strength was replenished, and she returned to her previous state. This speed surprised and delighted Han Jingjing. So, recovering strength could be this fast. But it didn't stop there. Han Jingjing's strength was still rising. Golden class early phase peak. Golden class mid phase peak. In the blink of an eye, she broke through to mystic. When Han Jingjing broke through to mystic, there was no feeling of a limit. This made Lin Yi feel strange. Whether it was for Faubert, Qintian, Lingshan, Yutian, or the others, they all had some difficulty breaking through the barrier. It wasn't too hard, but there was always a barrier. However, this did not happen to Han Jingjing. He wasn't sure if it was because of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, or because Han Jingjing was practicing a supplementary art for alchemists, so it was much easier to level up than other arts, and so, very quickly, Han Jingjing's strength broke through mystic early phase and reached mystic late phase peak. The second level of the art of dragon mastery was much faster than the first level. It had only been an hour, and Han Jingjing had become a mystic late phase peak. Although this master didn't live up to his name, his strength was still there. Linny bro, Jingjing is a mystic late phase peak now? Is that true? Han Jingjing looked at Linny in disbelief. Linny bro, you're too amazing. Jingjing admires you so much. You can turn Jingjing into mystic in an instant. Woo-woo. Linny bro is a genius. Jingjing is a big idiot. I've been training for so many days and I'm only golden class early phase. But Linny bro can turn Jingjing into mystic late phase peak in an instant. Target equals answer blank. Chapter 2040. Ugh. Actually, you're not stupid. Linny sweated as he listened to Han Jingjing's words, but his pride was greatly satisfied. Yes, Jingjing's family actually said that Jingjing is a genius, but it depends on who I'm comparing myself to. Compared to Linny bro, Jingjing isn't a genius anymore. Han Jingjing said, so I've decided. I'll always be by Linny bro's side. That way I'll be influenced by Linny bro and become a genius too. Jingjing, try condensing a golden class second level refinement fire and see if you can control it. Linny said, golden class second level. Jingjing hasn't studied it yet. With Jingjing's strength, she could only condense a golden class first level refinement fire, and she didn't have the time to calculate and modify the second level refinement fire chant, so it might not work. Han Jingjing said worriedly, try it. Linny said, yes, I'll try it then. Han Jingjing nodded and found the chant and control method of a golden class second level refinement fire in the tablet. After a few times, she memorized it and reached her hand out to try. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Just when Linny was about to give up, a refinement fire appeared in Han Jingjing's hand, a golden class second level refinement fire. Lin Yi could tell with one look that the refinement fire in Han Jingjing's hand was a golden class second level refinement fire. Because Lin Yi could condense it as well, according to the refinement fire chant that Zhang Liju left behind, Lin Yi could even condense a mystic first level refinement fire, but it was useless. He could condense it, but he couldn't control it. No matter if Lin Yi wanted to change the temperature or the intensity of the fire, the refinement fire would suddenly go out. Speaking of geniuses, Lin Yi was quite a genius, but if he couldn't maintain the refinement fire, everything would be in vain. Can you change the intensity and temperature? Lin Yi asked. Jingjing, give it a try. As Han Jingjing spoke, she began to change the intensity of the alchemic fire in her hand, from small to large, and then from large to small. The same was true for the temperature. It went from low to high, then from high to low. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing in front of him and was filled with emotions. He really wanted to hug her and give her a kiss. What kind of genius was she? She could even do this? Good, very good. Continue. Let's see how long you can last. Lin Yi couldn't help but praise. Han Jingjing nodded. However, after about half an hour or so, Han Jingjing's face began to look worse, and the sweat on her forehead increased. Big brother Lin Yi, are you done? Jingjing can't hold on any longer. Han Jingjing finally couldn't hold on any longer. It seemed that condensing the pill fire was an extremely exhausting matter. Especially changing the fire's temperature and intensity, it took up a lot more stamina. Han Jingjing was a mystic late phase peak, but this short amount of time was enough for her to be exhausted. Her forehead was covered in sweat. All right, stop. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's exhausted look and sighed in his heart. Although Han Jingjing was a genius, she couldn't make up for the lack of strength. No wonder Bingtang once said that alchemists were so rare. Even an alchemist with the strength of a yellow rank 3rd level might not be able to refine a yellow rank 3rd level elixir. Even if you could condense and control a golden level 3 pill fire, you wouldn't be able to do it if you didn't have the stamina to maintain it. Han Jingjing was a mystic late phase peak, but she still couldn't maintain a golden level 2 pill fire for too long. With Han Jingjing's current stamina, she could only maintain a furnace of golden level 2 pill fire. Half an hour wasn't short, but it wasn't long either. Of course, if it was golden level 1 pill fire, it shouldn't be much of a problem. With Han Jingjing's current strength, she should be able to make a few more furnaces. Phew. Lin Yi bro, Jingjing is so useless. I'm already a mystic late phase peak, but I can only maintain a golden level 2 pill fire for half an hour. Han Jingjing looked at Lin Yi with a face full of shame. It's already not easy. It's your first time condensing a golden level 2 pill fire, and you can control it as you please. This is already so much better than many people. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and said with some shame, "You're even better than me? Jingjing is not as good as Lin Yi bro. Don't say that. Jingjing will get arrogant." Han Jingjing rubbed her hands embarrassedly and squinted her eyes. 2 dimples hung on her pretty face like a happy kitten. I heard that in order to concoct a 2nd level pill, you need to be an Earth class refiner, and in order to concoct a 3rd level pill, you need to be a Sky class master. That's why you can control a 2nd level pill fire for half an hour when you're only a mystic late phase peak. Lin Yi said, "This is already a very good result. This amount of time is enough to make a furnace of pill fire." Really? Then it seems that Jingjing isn't an idiot. Han Jingjing said, "But Lin Yi bro, from Jingjing's point of view, the reason why I only lasted for half an hour this time is because of the pill fire condensation chant. This chant is too complicated. It makes the qi pass through several meridians and acupoints of the body. This will definitely waste a lot of time and energy. If I could simplify this chant, I might be able to last another 10 minutes or so. Jingjing, you don't need to practice the mantra I gave you previously. Take a look at this mantra," Lin Yi said as he took out Zhang Liju's notes and flipped to the page with the chant. "Write this down, and also the other types of pill fire condensation chant as well. Study it when you get back. This is much easier than the chant you have." This is too easy." Han Jingjing looked at the 1st level pill fire condensation chant in the notes Lin Yi gave her. She gasped. "This is what Lin Yi bro summarized and improved? It's even easier than Jingjing's. Lin Yi bro is indeed better than Jingjing." Man, this isn't my conclusion, it's someone else's. Lin Yi didn't want to lie to Han Jingjing. Lin Yi felt that it was a bit embarrassing. But Lin Yi didn't like to brag to his friends. Something this powerful can get into Lin Yi bro's hands. That's enough to prove that Lin Yi bro is extraordinary. Han Jingjing said, still in awe. Lin Yi didn't say anything, but he thought to himself, was this genius girl really stupid or just pretending? Every time she said something, it always satisfied Lin Yi's ego. Target equals unravel. Chapter 2041. In, then make a copy. Remember, don't let anyone see it, Lin Yi said. In. Han Jingjing said and started taking pictures with the tablet. After taking pictures of the condensing technique, Han Jingjing didn't touch the other things in the notes. Lin Yi didn't let her see it, and she didn't ask for it. At the back, there are some notes and recipes written by 1st and 2nd level golden class refiners. You can buy them too and study them when you get back. Try making some simple elixirs. Since Lin Yi had taken out the notes, he wouldn't be stingy. But the higher level things, Lin Yi didn't want Han Jingjing to look at it for the time being. After all, Han Jingjing's strength hadn't reached that level yet. If she were to study those things too early, it would be like biting off more than she could chew. After taking pictures of the things she needed, Han Jingjing closed the notes and handed it back to Linny. Linny bro, I'm returning it to you. Jingjing will go back and study it. Call me anytime if there's any news. Linny nodded and put the notes away. Han Jingjing went home happily with the tablet, and Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's back. The shock in his heart couldn't be any greater, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. Shield bro, that Han Jingjing seems to be very powerful? Yushu stood beside Lin Yi and said to Lin Yi, very powerful indeed. Linny said, I'm afraid that the heavy responsibility of helping little girl rock candy refined pills will fall on her. Linny had already lost confidence in his alchemy level, but he didn't expect that there would be a light at the end of the tunnel. He could wear out iron shoes in fruitless search, only to find it effortlessly. A neighbor and classmate that he met by chance was actually an alchemy genius. This scientific method of alchemy was simply unprecedented and would never be repeated in the future. Compared to Han Jingjing, those alchemists were simply too weak. This little girl was really not an ordinary kind of valiant. Shield bro, I don't think that Han Jingjing is stupid. Yushu said. Not stupid. Lin Yi blinked as he turned to Yushu. It's nothing. Shu was just saying. Yushu changed the topic after that. Shield bro, it's time for breakfast. Grandma's son's ready. Is it time for breakfast already? Lin Yi didn't think that a night had passed without him noticing. If he knew this would happen, he would have asked Han Jingjing to stay for breakfast. After breakfast, Lin Yi didn't waste any more time and went back to his room to train. Even if it was Han Jingjing, due to the limitations of her own strength, she probably wouldn't be able to concoct a golden third-level elixir. So the only thing he could do was to increase his strength. As long as Lin Yi became a Sky-class master and increased Han Jingjing's strength to Earth-class late-phase peak, then Han Jingjing might be able to make Ice Heart Jade Bone Pill. Although, normally, Earth-class late-phase peak strength wasn't enough to support a Golden-class third-level refiner's refinement, and the weakest one would be a Sky-class early-phase master. But Han Jingjing's refinement and control method had been simplified and improved. Han Jingjing would probably be able to make a Golden-class third-level pill when she was Earth-class late-phase peak. And Lin Yi could only place his hope on this. This was a goal. He wanted to become a Sky-class, and Han Jingjing a Golden-class third-level refiner. This way, no matter how domineering Bingtang Girl was, she wouldn't make things difficult for Feng Xiaoxiao. Since he had this goal, Lin Yi naturally couldn't waste any more time. He had to work hard. Thinking about how Han Jingjing worked hard every day to calculate some formulas and meridian diagrams, even when she was walking, this gave Lin Yi the motivation to work hard. But not long after Lin Yi entered the Jade space to train, he heard a loud sound not far from the villa. Even Lin Yi's room felt a little shaky. The loud sound brought Lin Yi back to reality from his training, and he quickly ran out of the room. Lin Yi could already confirm that the sound came from Han Jingjing's villa, and so Lin Yi's heart was even more anxious. Han Jingjing's importance to Lin Yi was very clear, and Lin Yi couldn't let any harm come to her. When Lin Yi came to the living room, Meng Yao and Yushu were also panicking. Lin Yi, you heard that loud sound too? Meng Yao asked anxiously. Yeah, I heard it. It seemed to come from Han Jingjing's villa. Lin Yi frowned. I don't know what happened. Then let's go check it out. Meng Yao, naturally, understood how important Han Jingjing's skills were to Lin Yi. She quickly followed Lin Yi out of the villa, looking in the direction of Han Jingjing's villa. Seeing that there were no signs of damage outside Han Jingjing's villa, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the house didn't explode, but he didn't know what happened inside. Coming to the door of Han Jingjing's villa, Lin Yi quickly pressed the doorbell. After a while, someone came to open the door, but it wasn't Han Jingjing, but Han Jingjing's brother, Han Xiaoqiao. However, although it was Han Xiaoqiao who opened the door, Lin Yi still breathed a sigh of relief, because Lin Yi didn't see too much panic on Han Xiaoqiao's face, which meant that the problem shouldn't be too big. Xiaoqiao, what happened just now? What made the loud sound? Lin Yi asked. The loud noise was caused by big sister Jingjing, but I don't know what she was doing. Her face was covered in soot, and she came out of the room with dirt all over her face. Then, she wanted to take a bath. Han Xiaoqiao shook his head. He also didn't know what Han Jingjing was doing. Dirty and dirty? Linny heard that Han Jingjing was fine, and she could still go to take a shower. He was relieved, so he said, then wait for her to finish taking a shower. Okay, Linny Gidge, please come in. When Han Xiaoqiao came to open the door, he was still holding a book in his hand. Obviously, he was just studying. This brother and sister were really diligent, which made Linny admire them. Target equals for blank. Chapter 2042. Date: 6th of November. While they were talking, the security patrol car of the property management company drove over quickly. Obviously, a nearby neighbor had called the property management company. The patrol car stopped, and a few security guards got out of the car and asked, "Excuse me, did the explosion happen here? What happened? Do you need help?" The owners of these luxurious villas were big customers of the property company, and their annual fees were tens of thousands of yuan. It was no wonder that they were so attentive, rushing to the scene as soon as something happened. "Oh, it's nothing. My friend might have accidentally blown up the pressure cooker while cooking." Linny guessed that Han Jingjing must have encountered some problems when she was studying alchemy, but he couldn't tell the security the truth. He just found an excuse to cover it up. "I see, it's fine then." The leader of the security team let out a sigh of relief when he heard Lin Yi's words. He was afraid of a gas explosion or a high-voltage explosion. If these things exploded, it would be related to the property company's maintenance, and they would have to bear the responsibility. However, after hearing that it was just a pressure cooker explosion, and there seemed to be no casualties, he was naturally relieved. "Haha, thank you," Linny said. "It's fine. You guys are the owners of the villa next door, right? Just call us if anything happens." The security team leader saw that the door of Lin Yi's villa was open, and naturally, he guessed that they were the owners of the villa next door. "Okay, you guys go back to your work." Lin Yi waved his hand, indicating that they could leave. The security team got into the patrol car and drove away quickly. Meng Yao and Yu Shu let out a sigh of relief when they heard that Han Jingjing was fine. "Yao Yao, Shu, you guys go back. I'll wait here and see what she's doing," Linny said. Okay, it's safe," Meng Yao reminded. "Don't worry." Linny followed Han Xiaoqiao into the villa, while Meng Yao and Yu Shu went back to their own villa. "Linny bro, wait for sis here. I'm going to read." Han Xiaoqiao didn't seem to be very sociable. After pouring a drink for Linny, he got up and went back to his room to read. Linny nodded and said, "Go on with your work. Don't worry about me." In the living room, with nothing to do, Lin Yi continued to enter the space of the jade pendant to cultivate. Anyway, there were no outsiders in Han Jingjing's house, so Lin Yi didn't need to hide. About half an hour later, footsteps came from upstairs, followed by Han Jingjing's muttering, "It's over. It's over." Jingjing's disfigured. "I'm done for, Brother Yi. Will he not like me anymore?" "Woo-woo, Jingjing?" Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he heard Han Jingjing's words. She shouted upstairs, "Jingjing, I'm here. I'm downstairs in the living room." Linny bro, you're here to see Jingjing?" Han Jingjing was happy to hear Lin Yi's voice, but stopped when she was about to go downstairs. There was a deep cut on her face. It was on her forehead, and it wouldn't be too obvious if she covered it with her hair, but Han Jingjing still had some. Even with Miracle Dr. Guan's medicine, there would still be a cut left. Linny didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Han Xiaoqiao didn't tell Han Jingjing that he was here, but then he remembered that Han Xiaoqiao went back to his room to read, and Han Jingjing was in the shower. It was normal that he didn't tell her. "Jingjing, you're hurt? Come down and let me see," Linny said. Linny bro, you already know?" Han Jingjing didn't want to go downstairs like this, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, she knew that she couldn't hide it anymore. She could only go downstairs. When she saw Lin Yi, tears of grievance fell down. "Linny bro, my head is broken, and my face is disfigured. Will you not like Jingjing in the future?" "Why do you say that?" Linny realized that Han Jingjing was actually very fragile. Jingjing thinks that Linny bro only likes beautiful girls, not ugly ones, Han Jingjing said. "Otherwise, why would Linny bro be surrounded by beautiful girls?" "Ugh, that's just a coincidence," Linny said. "Plus, Jingjing is also very beautiful." But Jingjing's face is disfigured now. Han Jingjing pointed at the gauze on her forehead and said, "Hee hee, it's okay. I'll help you heal it." Lin Yi smiled slightly. He buckled the pulse on Han Jingjing's arm with one hand and put the other hand on Han Jingjing's forehead. It only took a few seconds. Before Han Jingjing could react, he quickly took it away and said, "It's done." "It's done?" Han Jingjing was slightly surprised. Just now, she only felt a slight chill on her forehead, and then Lin Yi told her it was done. If you don't believe me, you can take a look." Lin Yi pointed at Han Jingjing's forehead and said, "It doesn't seem to hurt too much." Han Jingjing touched her forehead. She was a little surprised. Out of trust in Lin Yi, she directly removed the gauze on her forehead and touched the wound with her hand. There was no wound at all. Except for the injury medicine on her hand, the skin was smooth and delicate. There was no sign of a wound at all. "Go and wash off the injury medicine." Lin Yi smiled. "It's really done?" Han Jingjing didn't expect that Lin Yi actually reached out and touched it, and it healed her wound. "Isn't it too magical? Won't you know if you see it yourself?" said Lin Yi. Han Jingjing quickly ran to the bathroom. There was an exclamation in the bathroom, and then there was the sound of water washing her face. After a while, Han Jingjing ran out of the bathroom. She was excited. "Big brother Lin Yi, it's really done. You're so amazing. Jingjing admires you so much." Lin Yi was a little embarrassed by Han Jingjing. He really didn't know what to say to be admired by a genius girl. In fact, Lin Yi's road to success was really difficult. The only lucky possibility was that his physique was just right to practice the art of dragon mastery. In addition, Lin Yi put in more effort than others, so he had some magical powers that seemed very powerful today. However, Lin Yi was also aware of his own shortcomings. His strength today came entirely from hard work and coincidences. Lin Yi couldn't compare to the disciples of the hidden aristocratic families, and he couldn't compare to the disciples of the ancient sects and ancient aristocratic families. Without the space of the jade pendant, Lin Yi might still be at the golden rank. It was fine if he didn't have a master to guide him. It could be said that on the road of cultivation, Lin Yi didn't even have a person to consult. Target equals _blank. Chapter 2043. His master left when he was a few years old, and old Lin didn't even know as much as Lin Yi did. The only person who could be called his second master was Zhao Yazi, but he had a bad memory. So on the path of cultivation, Lin Yi had to figure it out himself. What was worse was that Lin Yi didn't have a master to guide him, and he didn't have any treasures to use. The only pill he had was probably the chi-gathering pill. He was a world of difference compared to the disciples of the ancient sects and noble houses who had been using spiritual herbs since they were young. But what Lin Yi had was a stubborn and hard-working heart. He had never given up before, and he'd been trying his best to make up for the difference between him and the disciples of the hidden houses and the disciples of the ancient sects. Xiao was a golden class in a month, and Naipeo was a mystic late phase peak in a few months. Lin Yi could only be envious. Fortunately, the jade space was a godly item, and Lin Yi was able to leave his opponents far behind. Of course, the jade space was only making up for the lack of chi in the air. If there was enough chi in the air, the art of dragon mastery alone would be enough for him to stand at the top of the world of practitioners. Of course, Lin Yi didn't complain about it. Solo practitioners naturally couldn't compare to the disciples of the noble houses and sections. Lin Yi's achievements today were already very good. "I'm not really good, just good at healing," Lin Yi said faintly. "Right, what were you doing before? Why did you make such a loud noise? I heard it from the villa next door." Actually, the cauldron that we bought together exploded. Han Jingjing frowned when she mentioned the previous matter. Jingjing originally wanted to refine an ordinary yellow rank first-grade medicinal pill, the energy recovery pill, but I didn't expect that when I refined it according to the recipe, the medicinal pill didn't succeed, and the cauldron exploded. Exploded? Lin Yi was stunned. That medicine cauldron is made of copper, so its quality should be pretty good. Why did it suddenly explode? Jingjing doesn't know either. Jingjing has already converted the pill formula's condensation technique into a temperature and time curve. She only needs to follow the curve and time to control the alchemy fire's temperature and intensity. Jing Jing's calculation is already very accurate. In theory, it should have succeeded, but the medicine cauldron exploded. Could it be that this cauldron can't be used for alchemy? Lin Yi frowned. But in theory, a cauldron made of copper should be very sturdy. You can't concoct pills? Is there a need for a specialized cauldron? Han Jingjing also looked at Lin Yi with some doubt. Let me ask. Lin Yi took out his phone. He wanted to call Boss Bai directly, but when he thought that he didn't have any achievements in alchemy, he was a little discouraged. If Boss Bai asked, Lin Yi couldn't hide it. But if he told the truth, how could Lin Yi explain the explosion of the medicine cauldron? Lin Yi didn't want anyone to know about Han Jingjing's matter for the time being. This was a trump card in his hands. Lin Yi didn't want Han Jingjing to be targeted by some forces. After all, Han Jingjing's alchemy skills were quite popular even in the ancient sections. So, after hesitating for a while, Lin Yi called Bai Weitua directly. In theory, as Boss Bai's grandson, even if Bai Weitua didn't know alchemy, he should know a lot about alchemy. After all, Bai Weitua also said that he learned a lot from Boss Bai. Big brother Lin? Why did you suddenly call me? Bai Weitua was a little surprised to receive Lin Yi's call. Today was Sunday. Bai Weitua was sleeping in the dormitory early in the morning. He hadn't gotten up yet, and Lin Yi's call came in. Weitua, I have something to ask you, said Lin Yi. Big brother Lin, if there's anything, just say it. Why do you need to ask? Don't be so distant. I will tell you everything I know. Bai Weitua was very grateful to Lin Yi for going to Tiger Park yesterday. Himeiu's impression of him was also a lot better. At least he had successfully gotten Himeiu's QQ number, and he could chat with Himeiu online. It's about alchemy, said Lin Yi. Alchemy? I really don't know much about this. If you have knowledge in this area, you'd better ask my grandfather. When Bai Weitua heard Lin Yi's question, he quickly said, Big brother Lin, it's not that I don't want to answer, but I really know too much. Don't worry, it's just a simple question. Lin Yi said, the cauldron used for alchemy, an imitation antique from the antique street. Is that okay? What? Bai Weitua heard Lin Yi's question and froze. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is that possible? Even if it's a real antique, if it's not designed according to the requirements and specifications of an alchemist, it can't be used for alchemy. It's a handicraft. If it's used for alchemy, the cauldron will explode. It can explode? Lin Yi sweated. It seemed that Han Jingjing's explosion wasn't for nothing. Even a real antique that wasn't used for alchemy could explode, not to mention an imitation cauldron. Not having a good teacher to teach them was a waste. Lin Yi was speechless. He and Han Jingjing were thinking too much. Lin Yi saw from Zhang Liju's notes that the cauldron used for alchemy didn't need to be too special. A normal copper or iron cauldron could do the job. But Lin Yi neglected one point, and that was that alchemists had their own cauldrons. These cauldrons could be made of copper or iron, but the ones sold on the street were trash. They couldn't be used for alchemy at all. But Zhang Liju didn't explain it clearly. In fact, if Zhang Liju's notes were seen by a disciple of a hidden house or an ancient sect, they'd definitely understand that the cauldron in here was a specialized cauldron. They wouldn't be like Lin Yi and think that it was a normal cauldron sold on the street. This was also why Yupanhu found it strange when he heard that Lin Yi and Han Jingjing went to the antique street and bought 2 broken cauldrons, something that even the worst alchemists didn't use. Why would Lin Yi and Han Jingjing buy it? Did they think that they could use it to make elixirs? They didn't even know if they could use it or not. Yeah, normal cauldrons can explode for sure. If you want to make elixirs, you need a specialized cauldron for the alchemist, and it has to be of the same level. For example, a first-level elixir needs a first-level cauldron. Of course, a second-level cauldron can not only make a second-level elixir, but also a first-level elixir. Bai Weitua still had this bit of knowledge. What boss? Don't tell me you've learned alchemy already. That's really fast. Target equals Mr. Blank. Chapter 2044. Not yet. I'm just asking. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Right. Do you have a good cauldron that can be used for alchemy? There is one, but Grandpa already planned to pass it to his last disciple. Bai Weitua said, You know that my brother and I don't have this talent, so my grandpa didn't want to pass it to us at all. Just one? There's nothing else? even if it's a little inferior? Lin Yi was a little disappointed. Boss Bai only had one cauldron, and he passed it to his last disciple. It seemed that even if he learned alchemy, he wouldn't have a share. No. Bai Wei-Tua shook his head and said, Grandpa is particular about quality over quality. This is the cauldron he used before, and it's the only one. Okay, thank you, I understand. After understanding the truth, Lin Yi didn't say anything more. Since Boss Bai only had one cauldron, and he passed it to his last disciple, then Lin Yi wouldn't ask Boss Bai anymore. It would be useless even if he asked. However, where could he buy a suitable cauldron for an alchemist? House Yu definitely had it, but if House Yu did, with the relationship between Lin Yi and House Yu might not sell it. Ice Palace probably had it too, and they could get it too, but it wasn't worth it to trouble Crystal Candy for such a small matter. Moreover, he had boasted that he was going to become a golden class 3rd level alchemist, and after such a long time, he didn't even have a cauldron, let alone becoming an alchemist. He would probably be laughed at by Crystal Candy. Lin Yi held back his anger in front of Crystal Candy. Sooner or later, she would dig her eyes out. So Lin Yi didn't plan to make Crystal Candy despise him even more because of this small matter. Now, the only thing that Lin Yi could rely on to get a cauldron was the hidden House Yu, the hidden House Xiao, and the hidden House Han. The possibility of the hidden House Yu getting the cauldron was the highest. After all, the hidden House Yu was an old hidden house with strong connections. They weren't any weaker than the hidden House Yu. As long as the hidden House Yu asking for a normal cauldron from the hidden house Yu would be a piece of cake. But the only person Lin Yi knew and could contact in House Yu was Yu Bing, and Yu Bing was training in the Ice Palace right now. If he wanted to find Yu Bing, he would have to go through the Ice Palace. Plus, Yu Bing was in the Ice Palace, and it wouldn't be easy for House Yu to get a cauldron for Lin Yi. So Lin Yi gave up on the idea and turned his attention to the other 2 hidden families. With the relationship between Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan, asking for a cauldron shouldn't be a problem, but the problem was that Zhao Qikuan didn't have a high position in the hidden house. Even if they did, Zhao Qikuan might not be able to make them do it. Shaking his head, Lin Yi could only place his hopes on the hidden house Hans, the new hidden house. He just didn't know if the hidden house Hans had the connections to get a cauldron. Listening to the hidden Han family, they were already being oppressed and coveted by the other hidden families. Asking them to help them get a medicine cauldron was probably not very likely. How is it, Lin Yi bro? Han Jingjing asked worriedly, seeing Lin Yi frowning after the call. This cauldron can't be used for elixir making. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If you use this cauldron to make elixirs, the cauldron will explode. Ah, no wonder my cauldron exploded. Jingjing thought it was something else. Han Jingjing understood. That means Jingjing was right. It's the cauldron's problem. That should be the case. Don't try to make elixirs for now. I'll think of a way to get you a cauldron in the next few days. Lin Yi said. Okay, Lin Yi bro. Han Jingjing nodded. Hidden House Yu. You coiling tiger. You said that Lin Yi got some information on elixir making from Boss Bai? Yu Zhentian listened to Yu Coiling Tiger's narration and frowned. He was a little unhappy. What did Lin Yi do to make Boss Bai think so highly of him? Yes, although I didn't hear it very clearly, I heard some key points clearly from the intermittent conversation at the door. Yu Coiling Tiger said, Boss Bai wants to take Lin Yi as his disciple and teach Lin Yi some knowledge on elixir making. When Lin Yi went out, he took a book of information. It must have been given to him by Boss Bai. If that's the case, it's worth it for our House Yu to find a way to exchange for that information. The key is Lin Yi willing to exchange? Yu Zhantian also knew that Yu Coiling Tiger and Lin Yi weren't on good terms, and the relationship between the entire House Yu and Lin Yi wasn't very good either. However, fortunately, Lin Yi didn't know that Yu San came from the hidden House Yu, so the relationship between the two wasn't too stiff. If there were enough benefits, Lin Yi might be tempted. Uncle, I think we can definitely exchange for Lin Yi. The key is what we can give him. Yu Coiling Tiger said, no matter how powerful Lin Yi is, he's just a loose cultivator and a poor bastard. He even went to the antique street to buy a trash cauldron. This kind of person definitely doesn't have anything valuable on him. So if we take out something that can move him, he'll definitely compromise. Oh? Went to the antique street to buy trash cauldrons? Yu Zhantian raised his eyebrows. This Lin Yi can't be that bad, right? After all, he has some connections with the Ice Palace. Why would he go buy trash? What the hell does he have to do with the Ice Palace? Palace Master Bingtang is just giving Lin Yi some face because of Xiao Xiao and Tang Yun. I dare say that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to get Bingtang to help him right now. Yu Coiling Tiger said with certainty. That's true. Yu Zhentian believed that as well. Otherwise, there was no way the Ice Palace wouldn't know about 3 Earth-class masters going to assassinate Lin Yi. But even now, no one from the Ice Palace came out to investigate this. This meant that Bingtang didn't care about Lin Yi at all. Master Yu, I've thought of something that we can exchange for. Huang Mao suggested carefully. Oh, Huang Mao, what do you think we should exchange? Yu Zhentian looked at Huang Mao. Cauldrons. Since Lin Yi went to the antique street to buy cauldrons, that means that Lin Yi doesn't have any good cauldrons, at least not a good one. Or, his previous cauldrons were broken, or else he wouldn't have gone there to buy cauldrons. Huang Mao said, and since he went to the antique street to buy cauldrons, that means that Lin Yi doesn't have any other way to get cauldrons. He's a loose cultivator, so he can only go there to try his luck. But it's very likely that he didn't see a cauldron he liked, so he bought some trash to make up the numbers. Target equals for blank. Chapter 2045. Can that trash do alchemy? Won't the cauldron explode? Yu Zhentian said, Are you sure he went to buy a medicine cauldron because he doesn't have one himself and not because of something else? I'm not sure. The yellow hair shook his head. I'm just guessing. However, this is a way. Yu Zhentian nodded and said, Pan Hu, bring 2 medicine cauldrons in a while. 1 first-grade medicine cauldron and 1 second-grade medicine cauldron. First, use the first-grade medicine cauldron to exchange with Lin Yi. If he refuses, then take out the second-grade medicine cauldron. Remember, don't use the second-grade medicine cauldron if you can. Although the Hidden Yu family was an alchemy family, they didn't have a lot of medicine cauldrons. It was okay to have a first-grade medicine cauldron as they had a lot of stock, but there weren't many second-grade medicine cauldrons. One had to know that medicine cauldrons could only be made by high-level alchemists. Many of the second-grade medicine cauldrons in the family came from the Heavenly Elixir sect. As for a third-grade medicine cauldron, even a high-ranked alchemist would not be able to forge it. Only a blacksmith could forge it. However, in this world, blacksmiths were pitifully rare. Not to mention the hidden aristocratic families, even ancient sects and ancient aristocratic families did not have such existences. The only place that could confirm that there were blacksmiths was that place. Of course, these weren't the Hidden Yu family's concerns. The Hidden Yu family also had third-grade medicine cauldrons, but they absolutely couldn't take them out to exchange with others. The entire Hidden Yu family only had 2 third-grade medicine cauldrons. Yes, uncle. I'll go talk to Lin Yi when I go to school tomorrow. Yu Panhu nodded and said, By the way, how's your cultivation strength? Yu Zhentian didn't have any other thoughts about Yu Panhu now. From the arrangement of the Yu family's elder, Yu Panhu would definitely develop into the next generation of elders. Yu Panhu was very talented in alchemy, so the Yu family's elder sent him to Donghai Industry University to learn alchemy from Boss Bai. Of course, as long as Yu Panhu didn't compete with Yu Zhentian's son, Yu Panlong, then Yu Zhentian didn't have to worry about anything. Although the elders had a lot of power in the family, they still had to listen to the family master. Therefore, Yu Zhentian was also concerned about Yu Coiling Tiger's cultivation homework. Once Yu Coiling Tiger grew up, it would be a great thing for the Yu family's future. Uncle, you also know that I have talent in alchemy, but in terms of cultivation, I can't bear too much hardship. Even if Yu Zhentian didn't mention it, Yu Coiling who was planning to find a chance to complain in the near future. After talking about Lin Yi today, he didn't want to say anything else, but since his uncle brought it up, he naturally wouldn't let go of this good opportunity. My strength is too weak. I'm only at the peak of the late phase of the golden class. Maybe it's because my level is too low. So Boss Bai doesn't like me and didn't teach me more alchemy. That's true. That Lin Yi is already in Earth rank, at least in the late stage of Earth rank. He should be at the peak of the late stage of Earth rank. It's understandable that Boss Bai favors him. Yu Zhentian nodded his head and said, How about this? I'll write a list for you. Take this list to the elixir storage and collect 10 spirit gathering pills and 2 spirit gathering pills for your cultivation. Yes, Yu Coiling, who was overjoyed after hearing Yu Zhantian's words. With these 2 pills, his strength would improve by leaps and bounds. Spirit Gathering Pill was a yellow rank 1 elixir. This kind of elixir was actually similar to the Spirit Gathering Pill, but the effect was much worse. Spirit Gathering Pill was an elixir for cultivators below the Mystic class to quickly increase their strength, but it was useless for Mystic class. Of course, the effect of this Spirit Gathering Pill was not as good as the Spirit Gathering Pill, but it didn't have the drawbacks of the Spirit Gathering Pill. Because the energy contained in the Spirit Gathering Pill was not pure and domineering, people who took the Spirit Gathering Pill could still continue to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth to cultivate. Therefore, Spirit Gathering Pill was very popular among the hidden families. Although many hidden families also had yellow rank 1 elixir masters, their success rate was not high. Therefore, the Yu family still had a lot of market, and they could rely on Spirit Gathering Pill to earn a lot of money. The Essence Gathering Pill, on the other hand, was a higher grade of cultivation elixir. It was meant for cultivators who were above the Mystic class and below the Earth class. It could quickly increase the strength of a Mystic class master, but it wouldn't have much effect on an Earth class master. However, the cost of Spirit Gathering Pill was hundreds or even thousands of times more than Spirit Gathering Pill. After all, Spirit Gathering Pill required a yellow rank 2 elixir master to make, and there was no guarantee of a 100% success rate. Taking into account the chi consumption and failure rate of the elixir master, this Spirit Gathering Pill was priceless. This was also the reason why the disciples of the hidden houses could easily cultivate to the peak of the late phase of the golden class or the early phase of the mystic class. Because Spirit Gathering Pills were not very valuable, and when the peak of the late phase of the golden class broke through to the early phase of the mystic class, they only needed to take 10 Spirit Gathering Pills at the same time. Even so, of course, this was only limited to the hidden houses. The noble houses did not have this kind of treatment. Even if they wanted to buy Spirit Gathering Pills, there was no way to buy it. The only one that had contact with the hidden house Yu was the common house Yu, but the hidden house Yu did not rely on elixir making. The Spirit Gathering Pills made by the first-level elixir master were not enough for their disciples, so how could they give it to the common house Yu? It was already good enough if they could give them a few as rewards. Yu Zhantian gave Yu Coiling Tiger 10 Spirit Gathering Pills at once, but only gave him 2 Spirit Gathering Pills. This meant that Spirit Gathering Pills were not valuable, but Spirit Gathering Pills were. However, the effects of the Spirit Gathering Pill were very overbearing. Even with 2, it could easily increase the strength of a practitioner from the early phase of the Mystic class to the middle phase. 1 Spirit Gathering Pill was not a problem at all. This was also the reason why Yu Coiling Tiger was ecstatic. One had to know that the Spirit Gathering Pill was a treasure that even House Yu didn't have much of. Other hidden houses wanted to buy it, but they didn't have it. They would only sell it at a high price in auctions, and so Yu Coiling Tiger was able to get 2 of them. It was enough to show that Yu Zhantian was starting to value him and was raising him as an elder of the house. Holding Yu Zhantian's list, Yu Coiling Tiger first went to the elixir store to collect elixir pills, then went to the armory to collect 2 first-grade and second-grade medicinal cauldrons. After doing all this, Yu Coiling Tiger returned to his room to cultivate. With the elixir in hand, Yu Coiling Tiger couldn't wait to increase his strength from the peak of the late phase of the golden class to the early phase of the mystic class. On Monday morning, Yu Coiling Tiger came to school with high morale. He was now in early phase of the mystic class. After taking 10 Spirit Gathering Pills, he easily broke through the barrier and became a mystic class early phase. Target equals _blank. Chapter 2046. This was the advantage of being a disciple of a hidden house. If it was a disciple of a normal house, they might not be able to break through the golden class and reach mystic class. Even if it was the head of the house, mystic class was already a top-notch master. But in a hidden house, it was nothing, especially a hidden house like House Yu that relied on alchemy as a profession. However, looking at the empty classroom, Yu Panhu was a little depressed. It seemed that he couldn't do things early. In a university classroom, unless it was time for class, No one would come so early. If everyone had the time, they might as well stay in the dormitory for a while. Who would run to the classroom so early in the morning? It was more popular to study at noon and at night, but there were fewer people studying in the morning. Let's go downstairs and see. To welcome that, Linny. Coiling Tiger Right looked at the time and said, "Then, should we take the cauldron down?" Yellow Hair asked. "Take it. You and Purple Hair each take one. When the time comes, whichever one I tell you to take out, you take it out." Coiling Tiger Right instructed. "Okay." Yellow Hair and Purple Hair replied at the same time. The three went downstairs and walked towards the parking lot of the biology building. Coincidentally, Linny had just driven Meng Yao, Yushu, Han Jingjing, and Han Xiaoqiao to school, and Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were also walking towards the biology building. Lin Yi, bro, last night, Jingjing simplified and improved the method of condensing and controlling the first and second level fire. Now, Jingjing can condense a first level fire in 10 seconds and a second level fire in 30 seconds. Han Jingjing said. Linny bro gave Jingjing the refiner's notes. It's really good stuff. As Han Jingjing spoke, Coiling Tiger Right had already run over. He didn't hear the first half of Han Jingjing's words, but he heard the latter part clearly. Han Jingjing said that Linny gave her some refiner's notes. It was really good stuff. Coiling Tiger Right's heart moved, and he was a little annoyed. Motherfucker, this Lin Yi was really a pervert. He kept having beauties around him, and in just a few days, he got together with Han Jingjing again, and from the looks of it, Han Jingjing also wanted to learn alchemy? Lin Yi naturally saw Coiling Tiger Right, but it was too late to stop Han Jingjing. Han Jingjing had already finished the second half of her sentence, and Lin Yi could only cough twice to signal her to stop. Someone was coming. Ha! Isn't this the great refiner Linny Lin? What a coincidence. This time, Coiling Tiger Right, Coiling Tiger Right, Tiger Right, Coiling Tiger Right, Coiling Tiger Right, Tiger Right, Coiling 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 Right, Coiling Tiger was Coiling Tiger. For a rogue cultivator like Lin Yi, it was already good enough for him to have a slightly better medicinal cauldron. It was impossible for him to have an extra one for Han Jingjing, so it was normal for him to accompany Han Jingjing to buy it. However, it was impossible to use the trash bought from the street stalls for alchemy. Yupanhu, what's wrong with you again? Why aren't you in class this early in the morning? What are you doing here? Linny said faintly, but then he said, Huh? I didn't see it coming. A scholar who has been away for 3 days must be looked at with new eyes. You actually broke through? From yellow to mystic? Haha, you also noticed? You Coiling Tiger didn't hide his mystic early phase aura, so he didn't think it was strange for Lin Yi to see through it. How about it? Jealous? Envy? What's wrong with you? I'm an Earth class. Jealous of you? Lin Yi frowned. You came here just to show off that you've become a mystic? Is there anything else? Of course there is. You Coiling Tiger quickly said, Lin Yi, the information that Boss Bai gave you. What do you want? Lin Yi's face suddenly showed a vigilant expression. Why are you so nervous? I'm not going to steal it from you. I just want to borrow it to take a look. You Coiling Tiger saw Lin Yi's poker face and was a bit depressed. He wanted to turn into a beautiful woman and make Lin Yi give the information to him. From Coiling Tiger's perspective, as long as it was a beautiful woman, Lin Yi wouldn't reject it. How could he know that there was a reason why Lin Yi gave Han Jingjing such a good thing? It had nothing to do with whether Han Jingjing was a beautiful woman or not. No way. Boss Bai didn't let me lend it to anyone. Lin Yi said, If it's this matter, then please go ahead. Or you can borrow it directly from Boss Bai. After that, Lin Yi and Han Jingjing were ready to leave. Wait, how could you Coiling Tiger let Lin Yi go? If he went to the classroom and Boss Bai was next to him, his plan wouldn't be easy to implement. If any student saw it and complained to Boss Bai, it would be very disadvantageous to Coiling Tiger. What else? Lin Yi asked coldly. You can't be thinking that you're awesome now that you've become a mystic. Are you going to beat me up? Haha, how could that be? You Coiling Tiger suddenly shook his head. You, Lin Yi, are a master who can kill 3 Earth-class masters at the same time. Me beating you up? I'm not stupid. Don't provoke me. It's useless. Then what do you want to do? Lin Yi snorted and didn't say much. Wow, Big Brother Lin E, you're so powerful. You can kill 3 Earth-class masters in a second? Han Jingjing looked at Lin E with admiration. Jingjing admires you more and more. You coiling tiger frowned. This Han Jingjing in the class, other than Wang Xinyan, was considered the prettiest girl in the class. You coiling tiger originally planned to find a girlfriend in the school. Wang Xinyan was definitely impossible. Not to mention the conflict during the college entrance examination, Wang Xinyan wouldn't care about him at all. Just based on the relationship between Wang Xinyan and Lin Yi, he didn't want to interfere. If she was killed by that madman Lin Yi, it wouldn't be worth it. Although Boss Bai didn't allow trouble here, what if Lin Yi got angry and killed him at the risk of being expelled? This wasn't impossible. Therefore, Yu Coiling Tiger shifted his gaze to Han Jingjing. As a result, Han Jingjing got together with Lin Yi in less than 2 days. She called Lin Yi Big Brother and even worshipped Lin Yi. This matter was most likely hopeless. However, these were all small matters in Yu Coiling Tiger's eyes. Women's matters weren't urgent. The most important thing was to get the information in Lin Yi's hands. Therefore, he said, Lin Yi, as far as I know, you've already shown the information to Han Jingjing, right? Boss Bai doesn't allow others to see it. It should be that he doesn't allow people other than his students to see it, right? If that's the case, why can't you let me see it? Why should I let you see it? Lin Yi sneered at Yu Coiling Tiger and asked, Are you threatening me? Target equals for blank. Chapter 2047. Actually, Lin Yi, I didn't look at it for nothing. I used something good to exchange for it. As Yu Coiling Tiger said this, he winked at the yellow hair and said, Take out the good medicine cauldron and show it to Lin Yi. Yes, young master Yu. The yellow hair listened to Yu Coiling Tiger's instructions. He took out the yellow-level first-grade medicine cauldron in his hand and raised it in front of Lin Yi. Yellow-level first-grade medicine cauldron? There was a strange look in Lin Yi's eyes. Yu Coiling Tiger actually used the medicine cauldron to exchange for the information? Lin Yi really had the urge to laugh. Before this, he was still worried about where to buy the medicine cauldron. As a result, a fool came to his door the next day. However, although Lin Yi wanted to exchange, he couldn't show it too obviously on the surface. Otherwise, if Yu Coiling Tiger suffered a loss, he would definitely not let it go. In order to avoid trouble, Lin Yi intended to let him swallow this loss. Yes, it is the yellow-level first-grade medicine cauldron. Yu Coiling Tiger said proudly. How about it? You went to the antique street to buy a medicine cauldron before, right? If I'm not wrong, you should have bought it for Han Jingjing, right? But I can tell you responsibly that the medicine cauldron sold in the antique street, whether it is a real antique or an imitation, is a handicraft. It is impossible to use it for alchemy. If it is used for alchemy, the cauldron will explode. Looking at the medicine cauldron in the hands of the yellow hair, Lin Yi's heart suddenly moved. The medicine cauldron hidden in the Yu family was naturally the special medicine cauldron used by alchemists. In this regard, Lin Yi believed that Yu Coiling Tiger wouldn't lie to him. After all, Yu Coiling Tiger still couldn't grasp Lin Yi's true strength. He didn't know if Lin Yi was an alchemist or what level of alchemist he was. You guessed it right. The medicine cauldron did explode, Lin Yi said faintly, but I still don't want to exchange with you. You still don't want to exchange after the cauldron exploded? Yu Coiling Tiger listened to Lin Yi's contradictory words and was suddenly stunned. Why is that? Reason? In fact, it's very simple. The information that Boss Bai gave me is of no use to you. Your hidden Yu family is a big business and is an alchemy family. Why would you be interested in such ordinary information? Lin Yi said lightly, So? I'm afraid you'll be at a disadvantage, so I won't trade with you. When Yu Coiling Tiger heard Lin Yi's words, it seemed as if he was thinking for Yu Coiling Tiger's sake. What he meant was that his information wasn't worth the price of his first-grade cauldron, so it was better if he didn't exchange for it. However, in Right Coiling Tiger's ears, these words had a different meaning. Yu Coiling Tiger felt that Lin Yi must have felt that this grade 1 medicine cauldron was too weak. She didn't want to trade with him, so she said those words on purpose. Therefore, Right Coiling Tiger took a deep breath and said calmly, Lin Yi, if you think the item is bad, just say it. Right Coiling Tiger, can also produce good items. How about this? A grade 2 medicine cauldron. Do you want to trade or not? Rank 2? Lin Yi was incomparably shocked in his heart, but his face did not show it. He still looked at Right Coiling Tiger coldly. He said, "You have a grade 2 medicine cauldron?" Originally, it was already very good for Lin Yi to be able to use this tattered stall's information to exchange for a grade 1 medicine cauldron. Lin Yi really just wanted to make things difficult for you Coiling Tiger, so that after exchanging the medicine cauldron, he wouldn't feel that he was at a disadvantage. Therefore, he deliberately said these words. However, he didn't expect that this Right Coiling Tiger misunderstood his meaning and directly took out a grade 2 medicine cauldron. Of course, if there was a good thing, he would be a fool and it wasn't Lin Yi's style. Naturally, Right Coiling Tiger nodded at Purple Hair. He said, "You take it out and let classmate Linny take a look." "Classmate Linny, please take a look. This is a grade 2 medicine cauldron." Purple Hair took out a medicine cauldron from his chest and raised it in front of Lin Yi. "How is it? You're also an alchemy master, so you should recognize it, right? This is a pure grade 2 medicine cauldron, made by a high-level alchemy master from the Heavenly Elixir sect." A grade 2 medicine cauldron made by the Heavenly Elixir sect? Lin Yi suddenly realized that a high-level alchemy master could make their own medicine cauldron. However, Lin Yi still had that indifferent expression on his face. "I still don't really want to exchange." F***. Right Coiling Tiger thought that a grade 2 medicine cauldron was enough to move Lin Yi, but he didn't expect that he still didn't want to exchange. However, this time, Lin Yi's tone was a little loose. He said, "Don't really want to exchange," which meant that Lin Yi was a little tempted, but his own conditions might not be enough. Therefore, Right Coiling Tiger held back his anger and asked patiently, "Lin Yi, what do I need for you to be willing to exchange?" Right Coiling Tiger, "It's not that I don't want to exchange with you, but the information in my hands really shouldn't be of much use to you." Lin Yi said earnestly, "I think your hidden you family should not lack such information. Why do you still make it difficult for me? Boss Bai said that I can't show it to others casually." "Yes, why not?" Right Coiling Tiger said quickly, "Since you have shown it to Han Jingjing, I won't miss it, right? Han Jingjing is a new alchemy master, so this information is useful to her, but your alchemy level shouldn't be bad." "It's useless to look at this information," said Lin Yi. F***ck, Lin Yi, why are you talking so much nonsense? I want to exchange for it. Even if I exchange for a pile of junk, it's also my willingness. Why are you worrying about it?" Right Coiling Tiger finally couldn't help but say angrily, "I'm willing to exchange. It's hard to buy my willingness. Do you know? If you think that my conditions are not suitable, just say it. Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. Don't. You obviously think that one medicinal cauldron is too little, right?" Lin Yi looked at the raging Right Coiling Tiger and sighed helplessly. "It's not a lot. It's really not a lot." As expected, 2 medicinal cauldrons, 1 first-grade medicinal cauldron, and 1 second-grade medicinal cauldron. How about it? 2 for 1. Do you want to exchange or not? Give me a straightforward answer. Right Coiling Tiger took all the medicinal cauldrons in the hands of the yellow-haired and purple-haired people and sent them to Lin Yi. TSK, I really want these 2 medicinal cauldrons, but that information is really not worth this value." Lin Yi said with a bitter smile, "Right Coiling Tiger, you are my classmate now. I don't want to cheat you. Listen to my advice. It's better not to exchange. If you don't exchange, you'll be cheating me." Right Coiling Tiger was extremely excited as he held the 2 medicinal cauldrons and said, "Lin Yi, if you are my classmate, you should help your classmate even more. Brother Lin Yi, why don't you exchange with him? Anyway, I also need a medicinal cauldron now, and he's quite pitiful," Han Jingjing said weakly. Chapter 2048. Lin Yi was really speechless, but he still said, "All right, but I'll exchange with you. After the exchange, don't regret it." However, Lin Yi had to admit that Han Jingjing's interjection was really timely, giving Lin Yi an excuse to step down. Otherwise, Lin Yi would inevitably have to dawdle for a while. Whoever goes back on his word is a bastard. Right Coiling Tiger said resolutely. All right, in fact, Jingjing just happens to be lacking medicine cauldrons, and you insist on exchanging, then I can only exchange. Linny sighed and said, Jingjing, bring the medicine cauldrons over. Here you go. Right Coiling Tiger was afraid that Lin Yi would regret it, so when he heard Linny agree, he directly stuffed the 2 medicine cauldrons to Han Jingjing. Anyway, in Boss Bai's class, Right Coiling Tiger was not afraid that Lin Yi would be greedy for his 2 medicine cauldrons and not give him the information. If that was really the case, Right Coiling Tiger did not mind telling on him. Han Jingjing happily carried the 2 cauldrons over, and Lin Yi, on the other hand, opened the folder that contained the textbooks that he carried with him and took out a file from it. It was exactly the mantra for condensing alchemy fire and the mantra for assisting alchemists that Boss Bai had copied for him. It's here. I'll give it to you. Linny handed the document to Right Coiling Tiger. After you copy it, return it to me. This original is Boss Bai's. I still have to return it to him. All right. Right Coiling Tiger nodded repeatedly in response. After taking the document that Linny handed over, Right Coiling Tiger could not wait to open it, but when he opened the document, his expression suddenly changed. Next, he could not wait to quickly flip through the document, but as he flipped faster and faster, his expression became uglier and uglier. When he reached the last page of the document, Right Coiling Tiger's face had already turned livid. Linny, you tricked me. Right Coiling Tiger said angrily, Did Boss Bai give you this information? Yeah, you can ask Boss Bai if you don't believe me. Linny said lightly, You know very well that I will not ask Boss Bai. You Coiling Tiger's eyes were about to spit fire. His 2 cauldrons. Although the Yu family still had some first-grade and second-grade cauldrons, they couldn't be wasted like this. Oh, if you still don't believe me, you can naturally come with me when I return the documents, Linny said indifferently. This, Coiling Tiger Right heard Lin Yi's words and knew that Linny wouldn't lie to him. This information was probably given to him by Boss Bai. What Boss Bai gave Lin Yi, on the other hand, was only the introductory files of alchemists, not the files on skills at all. In the final analysis, he, Coiling Tiger Right, was fooled. He was fooled. He treated the introductory files in Lin Yi's hands as a treasure. He paid the price of 2 cauldrons in exchange for a useless file. Lin Yi, you know that this is the introductory files of alchemists. It is of no value to me. Why didn't you remind me? Coiling Tiger Right said angrily, You even cheated me of 2 cauldrons. Did you do it on purpose? I say, Coiling Tiger Right, are you retarded? I have been persuading you not to exchange before. Let me tell you, your hidden Yu family definitely doesn't lack this stuff. Linny frowned and sneered. But what did you say? You said that you were willing. You were willing to exchange with me. I said that I am cheating you if I exchange with you, but you said that I am cheating you if I don't exchange. You forced me to exchange. What can I do? This, Coiling Tiger Right was suddenly speechless. He had no reason to refute Lin Yi's words. He said gloomily, Then, I don't want to exchange anymore. You don't want to exchange anymore? You don't want to exchange anymore just because you say so? You have already read the files, and you say you don't want to exchange? Are you going to dig out your eyeballs, or dig out your brain, and erase the content you saw before? Linny snorted and said, I don't have time to bother with you. Don't you want to copy this information? If you don't want to copy it, give it back to me. As Linny said this, he snatched the files back from Coiling Tiger Right's hands. He ignored him and left with Han Jingjing. Coiling Tiger Right was aggrieved. He felt that he had suffered a huge loss. Although these 2 cauldrons were useless to him, they were very precious to the hidden Yu family. They were given to Lin Yi for no reason. Who would be in a good mood? However, although Coiling Tiger Right was aggrieved, he couldn't say anything. He thought about it carefully. It was true that Linny had been refusing before and even persuaded him not to exchange. It was him who asked to exchange with Lin Yi. So, who could be blamed for this? Of course, Coiling Tiger Right didn't think that Linny was so kind and compassionate to persuade him not to exchange with him. Linny was obviously loosening the reins only to grasp them better. Otherwise, why didn't Lin Yi tell him directly that the information that Boss Bai gave him was only the most basic mental cultivation method of an alchemist? If he had said it earlier, wouldn't he not exchange with him? And after the exchange, Lin Yi took the cauldron and left. He didn't pity him at all. It was obvious that Lin Yi was up to no good. He was tricking Coiling Tiger step by step, so Coiling Tiger Right was incomparably depressed. However, in Boss Bai's class, even if he was depressed, there was nothing he could do. Firstly, Lin Yi wasn't robbing, and secondly, he wasn't threatening. This exchange was fair and just. There weren't any other factors. Even if it was Boss Bai, Coiling Tiger Right wasn't in the right. So, Coiling Tiger Right could only swallow his broken teeth into his stomach. Motherf asterisk cur, Lin Yi tricked me. Coiling Tiger Right said hatefully, this guy will die a horrible death. I'll get back at him sooner or later. The yellow-haired and purple-haired didn't dare to speak carelessly at this time. Coiling Tiger Right was tricked, and they actually had some responsibility. They didn't notice the slightest detail and didn't stop Coiling Tiger Right in time. So, at this time, they were also afraid that Coiling Tiger Right would find trouble with them. Calm down, young Master Right. That Lin Yi obviously planned it well. He advanced step by step. We couldn't guard against it. The yellow-haired said, yeah, young Master Right. Now, we can only learn from our mistakes. If you want to blame someone, blame that Lin Yi. He acted too well, making it hard for people to distinguish between the real and fake. The purple-haired also said, you too, think of a way for me now. Think of a good way. I want to discuss Lin Yi. We can't just let this go. Even if we can't get the cauldron back, we have to make Lin Yi suffer a bit. Coiling Tiger Right said, otherwise, I won't be able to sleep. Yes, young Master Right. We'll think of a way right now. The yellow-haired and purple-haired quickly nodded. Chapter 2049. Lin Yi and Han Jingjing walked in front. Han Jingjing hugged the two cauldrons with a smile on her face. Brother Lin Yi, that right Coiling Tiger is really a fool. That alchemy fire condensation mantra and auxiliary mental cultivation method are the most common things, yet he still wants to exchange it. Han Jingjing had already learned from Lin Yi that the alchemy fire condensation mantra and auxiliary mental cultivation method were cheap goods. The alchemy fire condensation mantra that Lin Yi gave her was the real good stuff. However, Han Jingjing had gotten rid of both of them and came up with a more scientific method to condense the refinement fire. So, in comparison, Han Jingjing's refinement fire condensing method was more important. Even if Lin Yi's refinement fire condensing method was given away, Han Jingjing's refinement fire condensing method couldn't be given away. Of course he's stupid. I'm afraid he's regretting it now. Lin Yi said faintly, Jingjing, you're not stupid either. What you said in front of right Coiling Tiger just now was very timely. Jingjing is not stupid. Although compared to brother Lin Yi, Jingjing is a little stupid, but compared to others, Jingjing is very smart. Han Jingjing said seriously. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's serious little face, but he couldn't see any clues. He shook his head. Perhaps Shu was overthinking. Han Jingjing was smart, but she wasn't that scheming. At least, Lin Yi couldn't feel any malice from her. Lin Yi was a very sensitive person. Back in the primeval forest, when he was doing missions, he'd been spying a lot of the time. It was easy for him to tell if someone was friend or foe. Han Jingjing, on the other hand, didn't give off the aura of an enemy, only a sense of honesty. She told Lin Yi everything she researched without reservation. From this point alone, Han Jingjing wouldn't be a bad person. Well, actually, compared to me, you're also very smart, Lin Yi said. Isn't that so? Jingjing knows her place. She's not as powerful and smart as big brother Lin Yi. Han Jingjing said, in the past, Jingjing has never admired or worshipped anyone, but after seeing big brother Lin Yi, Jingjing feels that big brother Lin Yi is very powerful. Lin Yi walked into the classroom with Han Jingjing. They'd gotten to know each other quite a bit, but Han Jingjing still took the seat behind him on her own accord. She didn't fight with Xinyan over it. Wang Xinyan, on the other hand, sat in her seat, quietly reading a book as usual. Morning, Lin Yi said. Haha, morning. Xinyan raised her head and smiled at Lin Yi. Fan Ganhe hasn't harassed you these past 2 days, right? Lin Yi knew that Zhang Duopan would find excuses to call him Meiwei, and Fan Ganhe would use this opportunity to look for Xinyan as well, but he didn't have anything to talk to her about. Sinyan wouldn't want to pick up his calls after 2 times, but Fan Ganha wouldn't give up every time. Not these past 2 days, Sinyan shook her head. But it's fine if you call me again. I'm not going to pick up. Right. You and Yao Yao seem to be getting along well? This was also the question Lin Yi wanted to ask Sinyan. She seemed to be getting along well with Ming Yao the other day, so Lin Yi was wondering what the two were talking about. Yao Yao's a good person. Maybe there was some misunderstanding between us before, but now that I've explained everything, everything's fine. Sinyan, naturally, wouldn't tell Lin Yi what Ming Yao told her. It'd be too embarrassing. Is that so? Seeing that Sinyan didn't want to talk about it, Lin Yi didn't ask. After a while, Panhu Wright brought the yellow-haired and purple-haired boys into the classroom with a depressed look on their faces. He looked at Lin Yi hatefully before sitting down in his seat. Looking at Han Jingjing fiddling with the 2 cauldrons not far away, Yu Coiling Tiger became more and more certain that Lin Yi must have asked for these cauldrons for Han Jingjing. And the introductory mental cultivation method and the alchemy fire condensation chant were also given to Han Jingjing from Boss Bai. Perhaps Lin Yi didn't want to share his art with others, so he asked for a common one from Boss Bai. Coincidentally, he thought that it was something good, and gave Han Jingjing 2 cauldrons for free. Not long after Panhu Wright came, Boss Bai came as well. Starting today's class, at noon, not long after class, Lin Yi's phone rang. Lin Yi picked it up and saw that it was Han Xiaopa's number. Hello? Han Xiaopa? Lin Yi picked up the phone. Senior Lin, it's me. Han Xiaopa said, you received the message from before, right? I've prepared the color steel. Yes, Lin Yi said. Han Xiaopa said that he would give the color steel the next day, but because Lin Yi was busy with Su Shihan, he didn't have much time to see Han Xiaopa. Han Xiaopa, on the other hand, somehow got the news that Lin Yi invited Su Shihan to perform, so he sent a message to tell Lin Yi to attend to the freshman party first and come find Lin Yi after it was over. Senior Lin, congratulations on getting first place in the freshman party, Han Xiaopa said with a smile. You know about it? Lin Yi was puzzled when he heard that Han Xiaopa seemed to be very familiar with Lin Yi's things. It's like this. Our hidden Han family has a few distant relatives studying at Donghai Industry University. I was able to get some information from them. Han Xiaopa didn't hide it. I see. Lin Yi wasn't surprised at all. Even Panhu Wright came to school here, and it was normal for someone from the hidden house to come here as well. To put it bluntly, the hidden houses were still people. While some of the top masters were in isolation and focused on training, there were still many disciples who came out to train and learn in the common world. Senior Lin, are you free at noon? I'm at the entrance of Donghai Industry University right now. I've brought the color steel. Han Xiaopa said. I'm free at noon. Where are you? Lin Yi asked. I'm at the school entrance. I didn't want to disturb Senior Lin's class, so I didn't text or call in advance. Han Xiaopa said. Okay, wait for me at the school entrance. Lin Yi said. Lin Yi hung up the phone and said goodbye to Bai Weitua before leaving. Otherwise, everyone would go to the cafeteria for lunch every day. At the school entrance, Lin Yi saw Han Xiaopa from afar. Han Xiaopa was very low-key today. He didn't bring anyone with him, and he drove a Mercedes S600 instead of a sports car. Chapter 2050. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. Senior Lin, I've already booked a table at Donghai's Northern Ice Seafood Restaurant. I hope you'll do me the honor, Han Xiaopa said as he made a gesture of invitation and opened the door of the Mercedes S600. Let's go. Lin Yi sighed. Lin Yi wasn't really interested in food, but if Xiao Xiao were here, it would be a good choice to bring her along. The food here was really good, and the ingredients were fresh too. Xiao Xiao would definitely like it. This time, Han Xiaopa was the driver himself. After getting in the car, they went straight to Northern Ice Seafood Restaurant. This was Lin Yi's second time here, and there were still a lot of luxury cars parked in front of the restaurant. Han Xiaopa's Mercedes S600 didn't stand out at all. There were Bentleys, Rolls-Royces, and all sorts of sports cars. But, while Han Xiaopa's car wasn't particularly outstanding, he was warmly welcomed as soon as he walked in. Even the manager came running over. Master Han, you're here. Han Xiaopa nodded and said, This is the honored guest. Welcome. Welcome to the Northern Ice Sea Seafood Restaurant. 2 esteemed guests, please enter the elevator. The private room is already prepared. Today, I will personally serve the two esteemed guests, the lobby manager quickly said. The hidden Han family that Han Xiaopo was from was the weakest hidden family in East Ocean City. Aside from the hidden Zhao family, the hidden Han family was the most powerful family in East Ocean City. Therefore, the managers and waiters of the restaurants didn't dare to slight them. "Mister, you look familiar. Have you been to our restaurant before?" The manager saw that Lin Yi looked familiar, so he asked while they were in the elevator. "Yeah, I came here with a friend a couple of days ago, but the prices here are too high. My friend got ripped off." Lin Yi smiled. "Ah." The manager paused. He didn't know who Lin Yi was, but he knew who Han Xiaopo was. How could the hidden house not have money? Han Xiaopo drove a Mercedes S600 because he wanted to keep a low profile, but when Lin Yi said that the prices here were too high, the manager didn't know what to say. But he reacted quickly. "Haha, it's a bit high. I'll give you two a 50% discount." "No need for that." Han Xiaopo waved his hand and said, "Go get a VIP card for Senior Lin. In the future, when he comes here, he'll be free of charge. As long as Senior Lin signs the bill, the amount will be on me. I'll settle it at the end of the year." The hidden House Han didn't care about this small amount of money at all. House Han was rich and had treasures, but they didn't have a strong person in charge. That was why the other hidden houses were coveting and bullying them. If they could get Lin Yi closer to the hidden House Han, then this small amount of money wouldn't be a problem at all. Even if it was a bit more, the hidden House Hans could afford it. Okay. The manager was even more shocked. It seemed that this person called Master Lin was someone that even the hidden House Hans couldn't afford to offend. The hidden house probably had a favor to ask of him, so the manager quickly nodded. "I'll get someone to get it done in a bit. Not only can Master Lin's VIP card be used for spending, but you can also enjoy the highest VIP treatment in the future. 30% off, and you can enjoy the best VIP treatment in the private room." "Okay, go ahead. Deposit 10 million in Master Lin's card. I'll swipe it when I pay," Han Xiaopo said calmly. Lin Yi didn't refuse. The more Han Xiaopo tried to please him, the more it showed how important the upcoming Hidden House Summit was to the Hidden House Hans, especially the ranking at the summit. So seeing Han Xiaopo's attitude, Lin Yi decided to help them a bit more. Anyway, Han Xiaopo said that they wouldn't want the treasures they won at the summit. They would give them all to Lin Yi as a reward. In other words, the more Lin Yi won, the more treasures he would get. The private room this time was completely different from the private room Zhang Duopan used last time. The private room this time was as gorgeous as a palace, like a crystal palace, while the private room Zhang Duopan used last time could only be considered ordinary. This place couldn't be any more luxurious. It was even more luxurious than the Starlight Hotel in Songshan. Not only was the private room shockingly large, but the decorations were also exceptionally exquisite. There were all kinds of antiques and paintings of famous people everywhere. Even if they were fakes, they were still top-notch works. It was a great enjoyment to be able to admire famous people's paintings while eating. It seemed that this kind of private room could only be used by VIPs like Han Xiaopo. Ordinary customers with lower spending would never be invited to a private room of this level. "The dishes are ready. Shall we serve them now?" The lobby manager invited the two into the private room and asked carefully, "Senior Lin, what do you think?" Han Xiaopo didn't make the decision. Instead, he asked for Lin Yi's opinion. "It's time to eat. Let's serve the dishes. We'll talk while eating." Lin Yi nodded and said, "Did you hear that? Serve the dishes now," Han Xiaopo said to the lobby manager. "Okay, I'll go and tell them now." The lobby manager nodded and left the private room to prepare. At this time, only Lin Yi and Han Xiaopo were left in the private room. Han Xiaopo smiled and took out a small box from his pocket. He pushed it in front of Lin Yi and said, "Senior Lin, please check if this is the colored steel you need." "Oh?" Lin Yi nodded and reached out to take the small box. He thought to himself that Han Xiaopo was indeed trustworthy. He hadn't even helped them hide the Han family from the competition, but he had already taken out the reward. Moreover, it didn't matter if they won or lost. Lin Yi opened the small box. What he saw was a colorful metal material about the size of a quail egg. It looked like a piece of iron that had been sprayed with camouflage paint. However, according to Lin Yi's observation, This was definitely not a piece of iron that had been sprayed with paint. It was a naturally colored metal. Jiao Lao, is this colored steel? Lin Yi's expression didn't change. He pretended to observe the colored steel, but in his heart, he asked Jiao Yazi. That's right, young Lin. This is indeed colored steel. Jiao Lao's voice sounded in Lin Yi's ear. However, this piece is too small. Colored steel is the main material among the 3 materials needed to expand the space in the jade pendant. It also requires the most amount. With such a small piece, the space for refining won't be too big. Chapter 2051. Yes, Senior Lin. The Han family only has this small piece left. Han Xiaopa said, this thing is useless to the hidden Han family. I heard that it's a supplementary material that only the legendary blacksmiths and high-ranked alchemists can use. The hidden Han family doesn't have any alchemists or blacksmiths, so it's useless even if we have it. We definitely won't keep it. I believe you. Lin Yi nodded. Since Han Xiaopa was able to give Lin Yi all the prizes, he must have put in a lot of effort. If there was more of this kind of colored steel, he wouldn't have kept it for himself. If Lin Yi found out about it, there would definitely be a crack in their relationship. At least, Lin Yi could see that the hidden Han family was trying to rope him in. As long as the hidden Han family's head wasn't stupid, he wouldn't do something so stupid. Senior Lin, is this colored steel not enough? Han Xiaopa asked. Yes, it's a little less. Lin Yi said lightly. Do you have more? That's hard to say. The hidden Han family doesn't have it anymore, but the other hidden families might have it. Han Xiaopa said, because this thing isn't very useful to the hidden families. It's of little value, so we haven't asked around before. Lin Yi nodded and asked, that means this thing isn't very rare, but it's not very useful to the families, right? What would an alchemist need this thing for? Exactly. Han Xiaopa nodded and said, although I don't know what Senior Lin needs this colored steel for, as far as I know, this thing can only be used by blacksmiths. As for alchemists, I heard that high-ranked alchemists can use it too. When they cast medicine cauldrons, they also need to add this colored steel. It turned out that casting medicine cauldrons also needed to add colored steel. No wonder the normal medicine cauldrons exploded as soon as they were used. Although the medicine cauldron Han Jingjing got from Right Coiling Tiger was made of copper, it was probably added with a special material like colored steel to make it usable for alchemists. So the colored steel I obtained can really be used to cast medicine cauldrons. Lin Yi nodded and said faintly. Lin Yi knew that if he used the hidden Han family to look for Kai's steel, it would definitely arouse suspicion. Therefore, in order not to arouse suspicion, since Han Xiaopa said that Kai's steel could be used to forge medicine cauldrons, Lin Yi directly pushed the blame onto medicine cauldrons. Oh? From what Senior Lin said, you're an alchemist. Han Xiaopa's eyes lit up. That's right, I am an alchemist. Lin Yi nodded and said, I have obtained a secret manual for casting cauldrons. I'm ready to try casting a cauldron for myself, so I've been looking for a lot of colored steel. However, I didn't know that colored steel could be used to cast cauldrons. Now that you've confirmed it, it seems that my secret manual is not fake. So that's how it is. I was wondering why Senior Lin was looking for this rare colored steel. Han Xiaopa said, but this colored steel can't be used by most people. However, during this Hidden House Summit, no one would intentionally use this thing as a treasure to bet, and the other forces wouldn't allow it either. After all, this thing isn't very useful to us. Then, how can I get more colored steel? Lin Yi asked. Our Hidden House Han can ask around on behalf of Senior Lin, but you'll have to rely on luck. Han Xiaopa said honestly, I'm not sure if I can get more colored steel. After all, in the ranks of the hidden houses, the Hidden House Han doesn't have much of a say. If we could stand at the level of the Hidden House Yu, the Hidden House Yu, or even the Hidden House Xiao that just had a sky class, it would be easy to go to other houses to look for colored steel. Lin Yi nodded. With House Han's current strength, asking them to go to other hidden houses to look for colored steel was like asking a tiger for its skin. If he could help the Hidden Han family win a few more matches in this Hidden House Summit, then he might be able to raise the Hidden Han family's status a little bit. But this increase would depend on the Han family's own connections. if he were to count on them to help him find out more about Kai Gang, who knew how long it would take. Is there no other way? Linny asked, a little disappointed. I can't say that there isn't. Han Xiaopa hesitated. Other ways are just luck. Let's hear it, Linny said. Sometimes, having a way was better than having no way at all. One more way meant one more hope. Not long after the Hidden House Summit, there will be a cultivator's market. We can go there and take a look, Han Xiaopa said. Cultivator's market? What's that? Linny asked, frowning. I'm guessing that Senior Lin probably doesn't know about the existence of the cultivator's market. That's why you brought it up. Looks like Senior Lin really doesn't know about it. Han Xiaopa nodded. Actually, our hidden house Han only found out about the cultivator's market in recent years. The cultivators who participate in the cultivator's market are all old cultivator families. There are also some lone cultivators who have masters to guide them. If other cultivators don't have masters to guide them, they won't be able to find it. Tell me about the cultivator's market. Linny nodded. The cultivator's market, as the name suggests, is a place for cultivators to trade with each other. It's a small trade fair. There, cultivators can trade with each other. They can set up stalls to sell things they don't need, such as treasures, spiritual medicine, or cultivation manuals. They can sell them for money, or they can use them to exchange for things they need. Han Xiaopa explained, there are more lone cultivators there. Maybe we can find the other things that Kai Gang and Senior Lin need. So there really is a trade fair like this. Lin Yi suddenly understood, and his heart leaped with joy. With a trade fair like this, it would be much easier for him to find things in the future. And if Han Jingjing could concoct pills in the future, he could also concoct some pills to sell and exchange. It was a good way to go. Chapter 2052. I see. When will the hidden house auction be held? Linny asked. I'm not too sure about that. Our hidden Han family isn't very well informed. We'll only receive news before the auction. But I heard that the hidden family auction is organized by a few large hidden families. They'll send invitations when the time comes, Han Xiaopa said. If Senior Lin is interested, you can come with me. All right. Linny nodded. Then keep an eye out for me. We'll go together. Don't worry, Senior Lin. I'll keep an eye out, Han Xiaopa said. As they spoke, there was a knock on the door. The waiter had come to deliver the dishes. The two of them stopped talking and waited for the waiter to bring the dishes to the table. After that, the manager gave them a few plates of fruits and a bottle of wine, as well as an ID card to Lin Yi. Only then did he leave the room and close the door. Senior Lin, please eat. Han Xiaopa made a gesture. Let's talk while we eat. It's just the two of us, and there's no outsiders. There's no rules. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was hungry. He picked up his chopsticks without hesitation. Tell me first, when will the Hidden House Summit be held? What do I need to prepare? All right, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa nodded and picked up his chopsticks to eat with Lin Yi. He said as he ate, the Hidden House Summit will be held on the 15th of this month. The location hasn't been announced yet, but this year's Hidden House Summit will be held in Donghai City if nothing goes wrong. The host of the Hidden House Summit is the Hidden House Zhao. Hidden House Zhao? Lin Yi's eyes flashed with a complicated look. This hidden house, Zhao, could be considered as Lin Yi's enemy, but Zhao Qikuan was Lin Yi's follower. Yes. Actually, this Hidden House Summit is a little different from the previous ones. It's obvious that a few powerful hidden houses are working together to divide up the treasures our hidden Han family has found in the ancient ruins. Han Xiaopa said angrily. They can't take it openly because of the rules, so they're finding all sorts of excuses to force us to give them some of the treasures. The weak are prey to the strong. That's the rule in the world of practitioners. Lin Yi wasn't surprised. It wasn't that the hidden houses were unreasonable. The world of practitioners was a dog-eat-dog world. If you weren't strong enough, who could you blame? Lin Yi went to House An, injured in Jianda, broke Jiang Wen's leg, and demanded a huge amount of compensation. All of this was because Lin Yi was strong enough. Breaking Zhao Qibing's leg multiple times, blowing up his building, crippling Uncle Zhu. This was all because Lin Yi was strong. Otherwise, Lin Yi would have died many times already. Of course I know that. Han Xiaopa smiled bitterly. But Even though we're not strong enough, and we're prepared to pay a huge price, we don't want to lose too badly. Otherwise, we'd lose all our face in the hidden houses. That's why we want to invite you, Senior Lin. Even if we only win one match, it'll still give us some face. Huh, what if we win a few more? Linny asked. No matter how many matches we win, the bets will belong to you, Senior Lin. Han Xiaopa's eyes lit up and he said, moreover, our hidden Han family's wager will belong to Senior Lin. Apart from that, Senior Lin can also take a few more treasures from our hidden Han family's treasure vault. You can also state some other conditions. Let's see what the competition is about. Linny knew that Han Xiaopa's offer was tempting, but Linny had to have the strength to get it. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't do something dangerous and suicidal. For those treasures, Lin Yi didn't want to lose his life. Helping House Han was just a matter of convenience. Han Xiaopa's performance from start to finish wasn't bad, but Lin Yi didn't have much of a relationship with the hidden house. All he did was take a piece of colored steel from them. As long as he helped them win the race, he wouldn't owe them anything. As for the rest, Lin Yi would act according to the situation. He wouldn't act blindly. I haven't received the details of the competition yet. We'll know when we get there, Han Xiaopa said. But according to previous competitions, there will definitely be racing, reflexes, and martial arts. Racing is 100%. It's an important competition to train the coordination of the practitioner's hands, feet, and brain. Racing? Linny smiled. I see that your driving skills aren't bad. Are they so sure they can beat you? My methods really aren't much. Han Xiaopa couldn't help but shake his head, a bitter expression on his face. I wonder if Senior Lin has heard of the hidden house Zhao? Han Xiaopa had received news that Lin Yi and the hidden Zhao family weren't on good terms, and that the hidden Zhao family had sent Zhao Guanger to kill Lin Yi last time, only to be killed by Lin Yi. However, it wasn't a good idea to say it out loud. The hidden Zhao family? Lin Yi picked up the glass of red wine in front of him and took a sip. He sneered. Do they have a racing expert? That's right. Han Xiaopa nodded. I heard that the hidden Zhao family took in an illegitimate son. His training isn't that great, but he's very good at racing. His racing skills are already quite good, and he was taken in as a disciple by Elder Bai, a master of House Zhao. He's been training him to become a practitioner, and his coordination with his hands, feet, and brain has improved a lot. He's most likely going to win this race. Of course, that's if Senior Lin doesn't do anything. Pfft. Cough, cough. Lin Yi was drinking his red wine when he heard Han Xiaopa's words. He spat it out. You're talking about Zhao Qibing? Yes, that's Zhao Qibing. Han Xiaopa nodded. Do you know him, Senior Lin? Of course, how could I not? Lin Yi smiled. That guy and I are enemies, but he's never had a good time in my hands. How did he become a racing expert? Chapter 2053. Linny was speechless after hearing Han Xiaopa's introduction. He didn't think that this Zhao Qibing was a racer as well. Lin Yi was very surprised. He thought that this guy was a good-for-nothing. I don't see him participating in any races here, Linny said. That's true. According to our information, Zhao Qibing has been trying to get the hidden house Zhao's approval ever since he came back. So naturally he wouldn't be racing anymore. Wouldn't he be no different from the spoiled brat he used to be? He's been trying to make some achievements to get the hidden house Zhao's approval, but who would have thought that no matter what he did, he would fail and be accepted by the hidden house Zhao, bringing him back to his family? Han Xiaopa said, but we, the hidden house Han, don't know the reason, and we didn't investigate it. Hidden house Han and hidden house Zhao were both hidden practitioner houses in Donghai, so naturally they paid more attention to each other's movements than other houses, but there were some secrets that they couldn't find out. Who would have thought that Zhao Qibing had this kind of ability? Lin Yi was very shocked, to be honest. I didn't know that this guy didn't even drive in Songshan. Man, I heard that he offended someone and got his legs broken a couple of times. How would he have the chance to drive? His legs are pretty good now. Han Xiaopa said, so, I saw Senior Lin's driving skills on the freeway, and I think that only Senior Lin can win against that Zhao Qibing. Lin Yi was speechless. I was the one who broke his legs. But, you seem to say that he's pretty strong. Should I find an excuse to break his legs again during the race? That way he won't be able to drive. Hiss. Han Xiaopa took in a cold breath. This Linny Sr. was really ruthless, wanting to break Zhao Qibing's legs. However, Han Xiaopa explained, Senior Lin, you absolutely can't do that. The greatest taboo in the Hidden House Summit is for participants to fight in private. If there are people who cause trouble, the first person to cause trouble will be disqualified. So, this won't work, I see. Linny nodded, but if it was before the competition, Lin Yi wouldn't have the chance to meet Zhao Qibing. This guy was hiding in the Hidden House Zhao, and Lin Yi couldn't possibly go to the Hidden House Zhao, could he? That's right. So it's better for Senior Lin to bring out his true strength. However, in my opinion, Senior Lin will definitely be able to defeat him. Han Xiaopa said, Oh, then let's do our best. Linny nodded and said, The Hidden House Summit is in the middle of this month. That's only a few days away. Can I bring my own car for the race, or must I use the car provided by the organizers? This is what I want to say next. Han Xiaopa said, You must use the car provided by the organizer. You are not allowed to bring your own car. Which of these hidden aristocratic families didn't have any connections? It's easy to modify a car, and it's even possible to modify a car into a plane. So, for the sake of fairness, we have to use the cars provided by the organizers to participate in the competition. Every car is fresh from the factory, so it's the same as new. Oh, then what car will be provided this time? Linny asked. This rule was fair, but in reality, it wasn't fair at all. If they purposely chose a car that Zhao Qibing was good at, even if it was a new car that hadn't been modified, he would still have an advantage over the others. Just as Han Xiaopa said, the Hidden House Summit was aimed at the Hidden House Han, so this race was probably already decided to be the Hidden House Zhao's winner. This way, the car selection would definitely be beneficial to Zhao Qibing. This car. After saying that, Han Xiaopa hesitated for a moment. Originally, the model of this car would only be known 2 days before the competition. However, our Han family has spies and informants. We found out that the hidden Zhao family had purchased a batch of cars, but what? Linny asked. But this car. Han Xiaopa hesitated. This car is the most common Jetta. I don't know what House Zhao is trying to do. Are they trying to confuse us, or something? But I heard that House Zhao has been planning to enter the taxi business for a long time. Maybe after the cars are used up, they can just use it as a taxi business, and they can save a lot of money. After all, House Zhao isn't that rich. They're far from our Hidden House Han. Linny nodded. If that Zhao Qibing is really good at racing, then the more ordinary the car is, the better the gap will be. The Jetta might be the car for this competition, but your Hidden House Han is quite rich, isn't it? Of course, in the ancient ruins we found, not only were there a lot of treasures for training, but there was also a lot of gold and silver, enough for us to spend for a few generations. It's fine even if we don't find a way to earn money in these few generations. Han Xiaopa said, Grandpa said that now is the time for House Han to stabilize its position as a hidden house, not the time for development. Stabilizing the hidden house's name and increasing our strength. Only then can we research and develop. And our generation doesn't need to research about earning money. What you're doing is right. House Zhao is only using Zhao Qibing to test the waters to earn money in the common world. Your Hidden House Han's foundation is still too shallow. Linny agreed, but a few generations is a bit long. Make good use of this opportunity. Your generation might bring glory to the Hidden House of Han. Lin Yi's eyes were no longer limited to the few noble houses in the common world. Lin Yi had basically settled all the noble houses in the common world, and Lin Yi was now looking at the hidden houses. Hidden House Zhao and Hidden House Yu both had Lin Yi's underlings. If he could pull Hidden House Han down, then Lin Yi would have more power in the Hidden House level. Only by combining all these forces would Lin Yi have the right to speak with the ancient sects and ancient noble houses on equal footing. Otherwise, even if Lin Yi became a sky-class master, he wouldn't be able to make the ancient sects and ancient noble houses fear him. Because Lin Yi was only one person, without a force behind him, he couldn't always guarantee the safety of his family and friends. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.